Hi, Kelsey.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm here, hanging out,
I'm living life.
living life.
Yeah, it's been a weird day,
Yeah,
but I'm real excited about today.
you ready to get down to bismuth?
Oh my god, I'm so ready. My diamond. In case you don't know, I'm super pissed because our patrons guessed what we were doing. I'm so
I know.
upset.
I was I was thrilled because
Oh my god.
I didn't think they were gonna get it based on the clues. Like as I
Oh,
was
I
as you gave me
know.
the clues, I had just started watching the show, so I was like, these are like okay clues, and I think that people are gonna see these and not associate it with the show. But like the more I watched it, the more
Hmm.
those images like kept returning, and I was like, oh, these are these are
Yeah.
the best.
So Taylor came up with those. Just a little quick, you know, side note.
Yeah.
I was trying to come up with like things that would turn into phrases from the show. So like I had a cookie and a
Yes.
cat. I was gonna do cookie cat, but yeah. Taylor thought of those in 1 minute.
Oh my god.
I was like, hey, think of really hard clues, and she just goes, do their weapons. And I was like, I don't think there's a whip one, but let me check.
Yeah.
So instead of the whip, we did the shield for Steven.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
But bump bump. Steven
Steven
Universe.
Universe,
I
there it
somehow
is.
got Kelsey to watch it.
Somehow.
How long have I been telling you about this show?
Probably since it aired, like, when did you start watching it?
Pretty much in like season 2.
Yeah,
So
I
like
think that
20, hang on. Like 2014 probably.
yeah, I think the entire time you've just been like, "This is a really good show, and I think you would like it." And then, like, the later it got in the show, you were like, "You need to watch it." And then
Yeah.
everybody else in my life has just been like, "You should watch this show, it's really good, I think you'll like it." And it's one of those shows that I've just kind of, like, orbited around and never really landed on, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think, well worth the watch.
Boom. So you know what? Before we
Universe.
get into it, here's our topics. Get a
Yeah.
little quick look-see. I got some surprises for you.
Surprises.
Yeah, you ready? Ready?
Yeah.
So first of all, I got some mood lighting.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh
yeah. I love
yeah.
that.
This was good. It took so long to find the perfect color.
That's, like, the pink.
I know. And then
I
yeah.
want that shirt so bad.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing,
Put
like,
it this
Beach
way.
City resident cosplay.
I know. So now I can pull the camera back out and show off more stuff. I had to zoom it in so you guys couldn't tell. But so quick note before we get into our first impressions.
Yes.
This isn't my shirt.
Oh, okay.
This is Taylor's shirt
Ah,
because I don't own any Steven Universe shirts.
I mean,
I have never found one that I've liked enough, and I found one time that I was like, that's the shirt. That's the one I
yeah.
want. And they didn't have it in my size.
Boo.
And now, thinking back on it, I don't know that I would want it.
Why?
It was a picture of Pink Diamond. Like it was a Pink Diamond shirt.
That's a weird character to put on the shirt, I think.
She had like kind of just been announced.
Okay.
Like we've just like finally seen the design for her and stuff because she wasn't around for a lot of the show. It was a big
Yeah,
reveal, but by the end of the show, you know, but we'll get into it.
right.
So, first impressions.
Okay. So, this show is a scam. It's a conspiracy. It's made up by Big Rock to make you want to purchase crystals because now I'm
Yes.
just like, I want to buy rocks.
Like see, we've already discussed before. I love geology to begin with.
Yeah.
So, I was kind of just like, there's a whole bunch of rocks I've never heard of. I
No,
like this.
there's like some scenes in there where they just start like rattling off like different kinds of rocks and gems and stuff, and I'm like, what are these words they're saying? I've never heard of
I
any of these.
know. But yeah, so Big Rock. They're all
Big Rock.
about trying to get you to buy the rocks.
Yeah. So just first impressions of the show. I think I texted you in like maybe episode 3. I was like, the music for the show is really good, and you were
Yeah.
like, oh, you have no idea.
Well, okay, so to go with that, pretty much all the songs are made by Rebecca Sugar.
Right.
who's the creator for the show. You know why
Yes.
you like her music?
Tell me why I like her music.
Almost all of the good songs from Adventure Time were written by Rebecca Sugar.
Okay.
Like the one with Marceline where she's like, "I'm just your problem" and stuff.
Oh, that's a good song.
That's a Rebecca Sugar. Thugger. Not the Rebecca Thugger song. That's a Rebecca Sugar song.
Okay.
Like all of her songs, from what I've noticed, are always just deep emotion songs. They're not
She's got
even
a lot of feelings.
more about the rhymes or more about the melody. It's about just expressing the feeling.
Yeah.
They're just hard songs. Most of her songs are just they hit hard.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of songs in the show that like they're not even that long. And it's just like you feel it in your soul.
Yeah. So
Just like a couple of lines and they cut deep.
I actually just learned this, and I wish that I'd have given you that assignment before we started. But you'll have to do it after now, probably.
Okay.
You know the ending of the show where it's like, "If I could begin to be
Yeah.
half of what," that song she wrote. So that is one full song,
Right. And
but
then
it
there's
was
like,
written in pieces over the course of the entire show.
what?
She kept adding pieces to it, and it's basically like her singing to her brother, because Steven in
Oh,
the show is her brother.
I did read that on Wikipedia. I didn't want to
Yeah,
like I I struggled with this because I wanted so badly to just like Google stuff as it was coming up in the show, but I didn't want any
yeah,
spoilers because I haven't been spoiled on this show. So
yeah.
I didn't
So
do a lot of Googling, but
go back and listen to that song. I'll send it to you on Spotify or something. But
okay.
listen to the whole song. Uh, Taylor one day, Taylor still thinks about this show, and one day
Yeah.
she heard it and goes, "What is this song about?" And so I was listening to it and I was like, "I think it's." And well, basically, we were like, "Is it Steven singing it or is it Pink Diamond singing it?"
Yeah.
And like, there's tons. The show can be interpreted in so many ways. There's just so
Yeah.
much.
I actually thought about the song as like perhaps from Pearl's point of view to Steven.
See, see that too. That actually works too. There's a
Yeah.
lot. But anyway, first impressions.
Yeah. So I mean, music is one of my first impressions for it. So like I was
Yeah,
listening just even not even the lyrical stuff, just like the what do you call it, like ambient music or whatever, or just
yeah.
like whenever something intense is happening, the music that they have is like almost reminiscent of like a JRPG even.
See, dude, they do like those like Super Nintendo noises and shit in there, and it
Yeah.
just I ate this music up.
It's so good. Like I would buy the
Yeah.
vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Um,
We have tried. There is a vinyl,
is there?
and each vinyl is one of the gems.
Oh,
So
cool.
like there's a white one with pearl on it, and then there's a amethyst on one, and then the other one it's the two-sided, so it's got ruby and sapphire on it.
That's so cool.
That's so fucking cool. But of course, every time it comes out, it sells out in like a minute.
Of course.
So I'll have to find it.
Yeah, I would love that. Um,
So when I was watching this show, it was actually Ferdin and Taylor were watching it.
uh-huh.
They were watching it, and I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't really care. It's no Adventure Time, right?
Yeah.
And they were watching it, and really, I think it was pretty much the finale of season one is what I saw first. That I was like, what the fuck is this show? And then I kind of went back, and then when I got to the finale again, I cried the whole season one finale.
Oh man.
Man, it hit me like real hard. I, it's still one of my favorite things from the show.
What happened in season 1 finale?
That's when Jasper and Peridot show up in that green hand,
Oh,
and
right.
uh, they poof Garnet, and that's when you find out she's a fusion the whole time.
Oh my god, yes. Oh
And
my
then she
god.
fuses back and sings the song about how we're stronger together and kicks Jasper's fucking
Uh,
ass.
that song was so good. Like
I
I
know.
I was having a lot of emotion. So I keep like a Google keep when I'm watching these shows and I just kind
Okay.
of write down my thoughts as I'm going. And my my thoughts in this were just like Garnet is a fusion and like she's just fucking she comes back and she just starts like spitting this rap and I'm like what the fuck it's so good.
I know.
I love
So apparently they dropped clues all of season one.
That she's a fusion?
Yeah, and Ferdinand Taylor picked up on that. Like, they knew.
So I
They
did
totally
question,
guessed
like
it.
I did not know this going into the show, and I wondered, I was like, "Why does she have 2 gems?" Like, she has the
Yeah,
different ones, because like, one's a square and one's a triangle, and I was like, "That's something." Like,
yeah,
you everybody else just has the 1 gem, you know? It's not like they have
yeah.
multiples, so this is gonna be important eventually, and I did not know how important it was going to be.
But see, you came into the show just like a hair too late. Not even a hair too late. But the show came out like in prime Tumblr time.
Oh my god.
So like Taylor lived on the Steven Universe Tumblrs at the time, where all they did was theorize and
Speculate and
like
postulate.
freeze frame every little thing.
Oh my god.
And there's the one where Steven goes to dinner with Connie and her parents,
Yes.
and they take fucking uh all the gems fused into one as like his mom.
Yeah.
She's gigantic sitting there.
Enormous.
When they pop at the end because they like lose their groove or whatever,
Yeah.
somebody had frozen it and you see 4 gems pop out or something. So it's like
Yeah.
they were like, we know something's up with Garnet.
Something's happening, yeah.
But I came into it a little past the Tumblr train too, so I wasn't in all that. But yeah, it was a big Tumblr thing. Tumblr
I
was
bet.
all about the show.
I mean, this is one of those shows that you can just pick apart and dissect
Oh
until
my
it's,
god.
like, itty bitty little pieces, because there's just a lot of little granular things that they put into
Yeah.
here. Like, the costumes alone are just they're
Yeah.
littered with stuff about the characters, which I thought was very cool and unique. Like, this doesn't come in until, like, way later, but, whenever Peridot comes down and like, eventually joins the Crystal Gems, and she's like, "Now I have
Okay.
to wear a star. Where am I gonna put a star on my costume?" And then, like, she doesn't put on a star for a long time, but then, like, at the
Yeah.
very, very end of the show, like, she gets, destroyed or whatever by one of the diamonds, and then
Yeah.
when she comes back, she has, like, a big star on her chest and then 2 on her legs, and she's just, like, all
Yeah.
starred up. It's very cool.
So I remember you saying that you kind of thought this was like a kitty kid show when you
I
first
mean,
started,
yeah,
which I did
I
too.
didn't think it was gonna be a show that had, like, a lot of substance. I looked at it
Yeah.
as more like maybe a Dexter's Lab or, like,
Just
something like
fun.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fun.
So that was also my first impression. That's why when Taylor and Ferdinand were watching it, I was like, I mean, that looks okay.
Yeah.
But so in watching it, when did you go, oh, maybe this isn't a kid show?
That's an excellent question. So let me go down in my
I will tell you mine because
okay.
I already know, and it's early
Yeah.
on. So I'm looking at it now. It's actually episode 6.
Oh, man. Okay, I have my moment. I don't know what episode it is, but,
Okay.
like, that green eyeball gem dog that Steven has to, like he, like, shares his chips with it, and he's, like, excited to have a little pet,
Oh,
and it's, like,
yeah.
actually really, like, a fucked up gem that has been just,
Yeah.
like, completely messed up and is wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I was
Monster
like, "That
buddies.
I don't like
Yeah.
this. This hurts."
Yeah, we don't discuss that one.
Yeah, like, that one I mean, it was not a bad episode by any means. I
Oh,
don't
it's one
think
of the best ones.
yeah,
But
I think
just
the show,
it
it doesn't
hurts.
have a bad episode in it, except for the Uncle Grandpa crossover, but
There are a couple that I'm like, eh,
yeah,
eh,
but that episode was one that, like, hit me.
okay. For me, it was cat fingers.
Okay.
When he makes the little cat fingers on his thing, right?
Yeah.
And he starts to like morph into that like horrible blob thing.
Blob. Yeah.
And like he goes to see his dad, and his dad is crying watching his son like dying in front of him, kind of.
It's so creepy and
I was
weird.
like, this is not just for kids, because no kid's gonna understand what that dad sees. Because like Greg like tears up, and
Yeah.
I watched that one the other day, and I actually cried.
Oh my god, were you crying at cat fingers?
I do cry. I cry a lot in this show. I
Yeah,
just
me
like I just
too.
like get. I think it's the fact that a show's willing to show these things
Yeah.
is what makes me cry about it. It's like that's a tiny moment, but that's a moment media won't show. A dad that's crying for his kid.
Yeah, it's
And
true.
episode fucking 6, we have a dad that's scared for his son and is crying for him.
Yeah.
I
What
just
I
think that's
really
huge, you know?
like, maybe this is more along the lines of themes, but I do just wanna hit on, like, this show, it shows you a relationship that you don't get to see that often, where it's a single
Yes.
dad with a single son.
Yeah.
Like, you don't ever see the single dad. Like,
Yeah.
there's a few things here and there, but there's to have this, like, one show that's, like, geared toward children, that's
Yeah.
about a single parenthood and, like, just a dad trying to figure out how to raise not only a child, but a child who's, like,
A
half
fucking magic space
alien.
child. Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, I thought that it's really unique in that way.
All right. So, yeah, before we get into all that stuff,
Yeah.
I have a big question,
Okay.
but I'm going to guess.
Yes, I want you to
And
guess my favorite gem.
you're already ruined because I've told you mine. But
Yeah.
I kind of have two. So
Okay.
you'll need to guess my other one.
All right,
Kelsey,
Robert.
I'm going to pull it up here for you. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. I really hope it's your favorite. I really hope she is.
Okay.
But it's not. I know it's not. No. Is Peridot your favorite?
No.
Peridot's so good though. I love her.
I was so annoyed by Peridot,
Well,
like, up
yeah, at
until
first.
yeah, I could not stand Peridot until, like, the Meat Morph episode
Yeah.
when she and Lapis essentially become, like, farm lesbians.
Okay, fine. Is Bismuth one of your favorites?
Oh. I okay,
Okay.
so when Bismuth came up, like, I've never flipped on a character so hard because when we first see Bismuth, I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Hell yeah, I love this character." Like a blacksmith chick, she's amazing. And
Yeah.
then, like, the turn happens and Bismuth goes a little bit, like,
Yeah.
angry and horrible, and then Steven ends up, like, running a sword through her, and,
Yeah.
like, that whole episode, I was just like, "What's happening?"
Yeah.
And then, she gets the redemption arc kind of in the end, so, I mean,
Because
I like Bismuth a lot.
Bismuth is one of my favorite ones.
And
I do
her
love her now.
portrayal by, what is it? Uzo Adubo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh,
that just that perfection right there.
she's so good in it.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay. I don't think one of your favorites is any of like the main three.
Okay.
I just don't think so. So now I'm at a loss because I know it's not my favorite one.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and say who my favorite one is.
You love Lapis.
I love Lapis Lazuli so much. I feel like she went through so much more shit than almost anyone else in a short period of time.
Yeah. So,
Because my other favorite, I think, went through more than anybody else.
okay.
Do you know who my favorite one is besides that?
Um, is it Pearl?
I'm a fucking Pearl person.
Do you know who
I
my favorite gem is, Robert?
Is it Pearl?
It's Pearl.
I love Pearl so fucking much.
Yes,
Like I cry when I think about her. She's
I
so
do too.
amazing.
She's so good.
Which here, hang on. I do have another screenshot for you, but it will come into something later. Look at how
Ah,
perfect she is.
Laura, it's our baby right there.
Look at how perfect she is. I
I love her.
fucking love her.
Oh, did you bring a crackable? Can we crack this open for
You know what?
Pearl?
I did bring a cracker bowl.
Let's do this.
This is for Pearl.
This is for Pearl.
Yeah. You know what? I was like really hoping that it would be Pearl because I just think she's so interesting.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people will like one of the other ones, not just like the main one, because it's like, well, that's one of the main ones, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the other ones are cool, but the 3 main ones I think are such strong, good characters. They're the main
Yeah.
characters for a reason.
Like, I hate kind of that I like Lapis as much as I do because I have such a love hate with her because she
Yeah.
pisses me off a lot.
Yeah.
She pisses me off a lot. But I don't know, being trapped in the mirror and like the water wings and
That was
just
very
the
cool.
damage that's in her and then the season 1 finale, right?
Yeah.
Like I just fucking love her. I
Yeah.
love everything about her.
Let's talk
She's
about Lapis.
awesome.
Let's dive into her story a little bit. So,
Well,
like
hang on. We got to do what we don't like first. Then we'll jump
okay.
into the show.
Alright.
Because this is small. What's something
Okay.
that you don't like about the show?
I literally cannot think of a thing off the top of my head that I didn't like about this
I
show.
have a few.
Okay.
It just leaves a couple lingering questions.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of people still want to know how does Rose become Steven? Like how do you just
Yeah.
disappear into this? you know?
Yeah, that's something that's like it's never really explored along the lines of the idea that like humans and gems confuse and like
Yeah.
how did the human and a gem mate in the first place? But
Yeah. But I
yeah,
mean, this is for children. Maybe they don't need to know that, I guess.
true. Yeah,
But it's like, Rebecca, you can tell us adults off to the side.
just whisper it in my ear,
Oh,
Rebecca.
how does this work?
How does it work?
And really, where the fuck did Lion come from still? Where the fuck
Yeah,
did
okay.
Lion come from?
Where did lion come from?
Because a big theory the entirety of the show was that Rose was secretly Lion the whole time.
That's what I thought, like in the middle
But
of the show, but then at the end,
nope.
yeah, they throw that theory right out the window.
Yeah, like, so what's the deal with Lion?
What is
I
the deal
have
with lion? So
questions.
we know why he's pink, right?
Yeah,
Because he got resurrected.
that has to be it.
Because
Yeah,
of all the stuff that happened with Lars, which I want to talk about later.
yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, I don't know where lion came from. Like he was just in the desert among Rose's discarded things. Like was
Yeah,
it maybe it was her pets that she like brought back to life at some point, and then he just like lived in the desert among her stuff, waiting.
maybe, but that's horribly sad.
It's really sad.
You know, like, I just have a couple questions that they're not big questions. They don't ruin the show by not knowing.
Yeah.
But I feel like with how much details poured into like every nook and cranny of the show, add like a little bit more of the nooks and crannies. You know,
Yeah.
like just give us like that like little bit more.
A little bit of seasoning.
Like that's about it. That's like my one gripe with the show is that I still have a couple just weird lingering questions that I
Yeah.
would like maybe a book to come out that just, discusses theories of the show like from Rebecca Sugar. Like here's like the show as I envisioned it. Here's what I thought. It just was never put in the show.
Yeah, that would be cool. Like a
Let me
like an art
find some
book that
answers.
kind of
Yeah.
dissects a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
That's what I would like and then I'd be I think all set.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot to discuss. It's a big show.
We do. So, do you want
So,
to start with like characters?
sure.
Okay.
Do you want to start with Lapis since
We'll start
you're
with Lapis. Tell me
already
tell
in
me about
her?
Lapis.
I fucking love Lapis. The fact, well, see, in that episode when like she shows up, we still don't know anything because we pretty much see the show through Steven's eyes, where we're kept in the dark about what's going on.
Yeah.
We are the child with him the whole show
Yeah.
until he kind of figures things out and learns them. Then we learn them,
Right.
And so, how are we to know whether or not the gems knew that there was a gem inside the mirror? You know?
Yeah.
And then, because they had to know. There's
I mean, there's a
clearly a
gem on
fucking
the
gem
back
on
of
the
the mirror.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they know what lapises look like. I mean, they know what every gem is supposed to look like. Like, it seems like every gem on Homeworld knows what every gem's role is, what they look like, everything.
Yeah.
They
Which
have,
I
like,
thought was
encyclopedic knowledge of this shit.
yeah, it's a unique mechanic, I guess. Like they're like species almost, like this is
Yeah.
an amethyst. This is what an amethyst should look like. This is why this one is a wrong amethyst.
Yeah. And just, I don't know, we found the mirror. I think she's our first like other gem. We never really
Yeah.
see another gem in the show, so when I was watching it, I didn't even really think like, oh, that's like a person in the mirror. I didn't really think
Right.
that. And then when she comes out, like that blew my mind.
I loved the whole episode where it just like set up this mirror that was talking to him via playback. I thought that was a very
Yeah,
cool thing.
yeah. And then her fucking like water tower in the middle of the ocean and shit. Just
Yeah.
so awesome.
She's very cool aesthetically. Like she's the only gem with
Yeah,
those cool wings.
yeah.
I love just her whole style. Like her character design is really good.
And
Her
she's
haircut, her
she's
dress.
so powerful
Yeah.
because like Peridot gets the metal powers, but even towards the end, she's like, I can like kind of pick up a paperclip, you know.
Yeah.
But Lapis can like lift the entirety of Earth's ocean with her hand. She's just a force.
Yeah, she's something to be
I
reckoned
love
with.
her.
Like the concept of her chaining Jasper at the bottom of the ocean
Ugh,
is
yeah,
so powerful and
it
so
is.
cool.
Which is so big for her because she was so powerless for like the
Yes.
500 years being trapped in the mirror and being cracked,
Yeah,
you know,
but it's also just kind of like a commentary as a whole on, like, relationships, you know? Like, this whole show is a commentary on relationships,
on like
but
every type of relationship that exists.
every single type.
Yeah.
So, like, to zoom in on Lapis, she's really, she's broken, she's physically a broken gem, a broken person,
Yeah.
and she's in that mirror for so long and, like, doing self-reflection and stuff, and then when she's finally able to get out of that and find power, she goes and just, like, creates this toxic fusion with
Yeah.
Jasper and chains her literally at the bottom of the ocean where nobody else can get to them.
Yeah.
And it's it's just a really just a facsimile for like a really toxic relationship, you know?
Yeah.
So
Which, because, they go into that more. I watched this one again last night just to freshen up on it when
yeah.
Steven takes her out on the boat
Mm,
and Jasper shows back up. And it's that
yeah.
whole, like, when you escape one, but they're like, I'm the only one that can handle your type of power. Like,
Yes.
it's all the standard shit that you would hear from an abuser trying
Yeah.
to get a person to come back to him, you know?
Yeah, I got like goosebumps watching that episode because I was
Oh, dude, yeah. I'm, like, getting a shiver down my spine now.
yeah, like the way that the show takes big concepts and they don't really dumb them down. They just find a better way to explain them to a
Yeah.
younger audience.
So that
Like,
they can understand the feeling.
yeah, like this really shows children, young impressionable kids, even like teenagers watching it, because I'm sure that this is pretty big among like the 13 to 17 crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
But like that's when you're first starting to get into relationships and you should be able to like tell red flags and warning signs and stuff. So to mimic it in a cartoon where a child can relate to it,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I just want to hit on Jasper real quick.
Okay.
Jasper is a whole thing. Like,
I didn't really get Jasper.
Jasper is just, I'm just going to say, like, a loyal person that's willing to do whatever for the person that she has the loyalty to,
Yeah.
but also stubborn enough to not see when they're wrong.
Yeah.
Because when she becomes corrupt, Steven's like trying to help her. Like, I'm not trying to harm you, but she cannot see past what she believes to be true.
Right.
That Steven is Rose, and I'm willing to corrupt myself and die rather than trust you.
Yeah.
Like, there's those people that have just that stubborn streak that cannot listen to the reason of somebody else. And
Right.
that's kind of Jasper's thing. Jasper, there's more of Jasper if you finally get there. Jasper's real big in Steven Universe Future,
Okay.
and you
Yeah,
get a
so
little bit
for
more.
the purpose of this show, what we're doing today, we only
Yes,
watched Steven Universe. None of the
this
shorts, none
is
of the
not the
movie
movie.
or the future,
Yeah, the movie and future, their own little worlds,
just
kind of.
seasons 1 through what, 5?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I watched the one with Jasper turning last night because I always thought that was a big one.
Yeah.
Like that was plus that comes into Amethyst, which you want to talk on my sweet little Amethyst, my poor
Amethyst,
my
man.
my poor little girl.
I feel so bad for Amethyst. So like I kind of had to like Google her story a little bit because I felt a little bit lost in there. So
Okay.
she was made on Earth in the kindergarten, right?
Yes.
And when she came out of the kindergarten, she was, like, not right or something, or
So she cooked too long.
okay.
So she didn't emerge when everybody else did, and the war concluded before she ever came out.
So, like, really, really late in the show, you see Pink Diamond, like, walking around on Earth as Rose Quartz, and they're, like, in the Amethyst kindergarten, and there's
Yeah.
a unit of Amethyst there, and they're like, "We're waiting for our one last soldier to come out before we go," and then somebody else comes in and is like, "Everybody move out." So I
Yeah.
kind of wonder if that's when Amethyst met Pink Diamond or if that's just something else entirely.
I think that's just something else because I don't think she met her till way later because she was like stuck in the kindergarten for like hundreds of years before she got found.
Jesus, okay.
Like she was just alone for a really long time.
That's sad.
She came out, small, which
Yeah.
she wouldn't know. Like she didn't really know that till they went to that other world and
Yeah.
she met the other ones that all look like Jasper. you know,
Right.
and they're all big and strong. And then that's when when Jasper turns, she was trying to prove that she could beat him, that she was just as powerful as any normal one,
Yeah.
you know. So me and Taylor sitting here last night watching that, and then we both cried.
Oh,
Because, Steven's like, it's okay that you're different, because I'm different, and that's what makes us the better ones. And she's
yeah.
like, you're my fucking friend!
I really
Like,
love the relationship between Amethyst and Steven. I think it's one of the
yeah,
most like pure relationships in the show. Like they're just there for each other.
yeah,
Like there's that one episode where I forget what's happening. Ruby and
like,
Sapphire had just broken up,
yeah,
and Steven and Amethyst like go looking for Ruby, and they're both doing this thing where they're like trying to comfort the other one, but they
yeah,
don't want them to know that they have bad feelings too. Like it's
yeah,
like two people pretending to be happy for the other person, and
yeah.
it's just really
Is
it,
that the
it
one
made
when she
me
kind of like breaks down the first time?
yeah, and
Yeah.
like they they end up like she turns into a helicopter and he like grabs onto her and he's like, "Tell me how you feel."
Yeah.
It's just I was laughing and also like crying a little bit because man, I've been both people in that situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever they like crash on the beach and then Steven's like, "Actually, I think you're the most mature gem." And she's like, "I don't want to be mature."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I love
there's
Amethyst.
yeah, there's big feelings in all these people.
Yeah. Oh, the biggest feeling. So we forgot to talk about Lapis at the very end, whenever she is fighting the diamonds,
Uh-huh.
and Blue Diamond comes up with her, like, big old power of, like, "I'm gonna make everybody cry real sad,"
Oh
and then
yeah.
Lapis is just like, "I felt worse," and, like, fucks her up.
I
It
know.
was oh my god, I cried at that part. I was like, She's felt so much."
She has. I think she's gone through the most abuse.
Yeah.
Like everybody has gone through hard feelings, but I think hers were always like abuse feelings. She was
Yeah.
always beat up by somebody. Like
Right.
Amethyst just feels small cuz she's not the same as what she's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Pearl is the person that never got she's the unrequited love person.
Yeah.
And then Garnet is the person who has love but it's seen as wrong by everybody else.
Right.
You know, like those are still big feelings and they don't make you feel good, but Lapis is always the one that it's just like we're going to beat your feelings up and beat you up and trap you.
Or
Like
Lapis.
she's gone through some shit. Fucking love her. She's the best.
Yeah. So, um so on the topic of Garnet, I guess Garnet made me feel big feelings.
Would imagine.
I have a lot of emotions about Garnet.
I'm
Like,
surprised she's not your favorite then.
I battle within myself between, like, whether Garnet or Pearl is my favorite because I think in my mind, like, I want to be like Garnet,
Okay.
but in my actuality, I am more like Pearl.
Okay.
So that's why I think Pearl is my favorite. But
Yeah.
yeah, Garnet, man, she just
Dude.
the
Love
whole
Garnet.
arc of, like, finding out that she's a fusion and then finding out, like, what it means to be a fusion.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about fusing, because like, when they first discussed it in the show, I was like, "Is this sex?" But
Yeah.
I was like, they can't really allude to it that hard in a kids show, so, like, it's more than that. It's like it's the concept of giving yourself over to a person, right?
Yeah.
So, essentially just, like, becoming one with them.
It's almost just like being in a relationship. I think it's
Yeah,
the
it's
idea of opening yourself up to a person completely and
right.
being just with them
Yeah,
so that a
which
kid can know, let's not, guard myself
yeah,
in that
but
way,
then I mean, that makes the fusion between Jasper and Lapis even that much harder because it wasn't
Yeah.
consensual, right?
That's a big thing. I think a lot of people saw I mean, I won't go that deep, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the word, but I'll throw out a spoiler tag now. Close your ears. But that whole thing was seen as like the R word kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kinda how it came off as to me too. I
Yeah,
was like, "That it's oof. How do you
yeah.
talk about that?"
It's a big thing. And it's
Yeah.
in a fucking kids show. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a huge topic, and I mean, if you're gonna talk about it, that's an effective way to do it, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
But also on the topic of fusion, real quick,
yeah,
just because it's something that pervades all of the topiary that we have going on here.
okay.
Fusion, you know where that came from? I haven't gotten this far yet, but apparently that's a Dragon Ball thing.
What?
Like apparently they can do some kind of fusing thing and become like a more powerful version of their fighters or something. Yeah, they like do some little dance, then they touch their fingertips together, and then they like fuse or something. And so it's like Dragon Ball yet again um, influences another show.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
but then
the
to take
concept
something so small as that concept, just let's make them stronger, but being able to turn it into relationship stuff like that, they took
yeah,
the idea and expounded upon it
made it a lot
greatly.
deeper.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
One of my favorite just, like, kind of one-off characters is I don't even remember her name, but she's, like, this big caterpillar that's, like, a really sluggish fusion of, like,
Oh
6
man. Um, Taylor
Yeah.
remembers all of their names,
Yeah,
but
see if you can find a picture of this one. She's in space with Lars,
yeah, it's the
and
off colors. I know who you're talking about.
yeah, and she's just like this old, slow grandma caterpillar, and I just love the concept of, like, it's just like a polyamory
Yeah,
coalescence.
she's what, like 8 gems in one or
Yeah, like
something?
6 or 8 gems. That's why she has, like, all the legs and stuff because she's like a caterpillar, but, like, just the I like the idea that they've portrayed a lot of different relationships in the show, and they were like, "Let's just throw polyamory in there too for the fun of it."
Yeah.
I guess just to let, people who are watching the show know there's not just one type of love available to you, which is
Yeah.
back on Garnet. So, this is where we started the conversation of fusion. But yeah, still look for that caterpillar lady because I just love her face.
She's so sweet. Talks so slow.
I know.
Oh, hello
Um
guys.
But, yeah, so bring it back to Garnet, I think, the whole concept of her, like you said, is it's a love that people think is wrong because it's a fusion of 2 different kinds of gems, and we just don't do
Yeah.
that.
There you go.
But
Fluorite
there's
there.
the old caterpillar lady. What's her name?
Fluorite?
Fluorite, okay.
Yeah.
She's so cute in her little weird
Isn't
cardigan.
she so cool?
I love her.
She's so neat.
I just wanna, like, live next to her. Um, so yeah, the whole, like, forbidden love thing, I
Yeah.
it had been spoiled for me, like, I saw pictures that there was, like, a wedding between Sapphire and Garnet, between
Oh
Sapphire and Ruby.
no, really?
Yeah, so
Oh
and
damn.
it was spoiled, like, as I was watching the show too, because it is Pride Month, so happy Pride, everybody.
Oh. Yeah. Okay.
There was a thing on Twitter that was, like, really good examples of, non-traditional relationships in children's media, and Garnet was in there, and then it was, like, a picture of, you know, Ruby and Sapphire getting married, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, interesting." Didn't
Yeah,
think
that
I'd
was
bump
a
into
big
Ruby and
deal.
Sapphire later, but,
Yeah.
yeah, so, just
Oh,
the
Garnet.
concept of Garnet just as a gem being a constant fusion,
Yeah.
I I related to that so much because, like, it's I I can draw similarities to it within my own life because I've been with my husband for 14 years now, like, forever,
Yeah.
and I just it's hard to picture a life without him,
Yeah.
you know? So, whenever they split up and they had that episode where they go to the motel and
And they're having the fight and stuff.
they have a fight and they,
Yeah.
like, split apart, and, this is where you learn that, like, Sapphire is, like, really cold, and Garnet and, keep calling her Garnet, she just looks like a small
Ruby.
Garnet. Ruby
Yeah.
is just, she's very, like, hot and
She's an
mad, and
eternal flame, baby.
yes, and the part that made me laugh, she was, like, pacing, she goes for a swim
Oh my
in the
god.
pool and, like, boils the
Yeah.
pool, she was, like, getting out.
Oh my
She just,
god.
like, cut back to her just pacing in an empty pool eventually.
Yeah.
That made me laugh really hard. Um,
So that episode I actually use a lot for me and Taylor
yeah,
when we discuss stuff cuz if we ever get into a fight, she is definitely the Ruby. She gets the hot-headedness right off the bat, but
man.
I'm definitely the Sapphire. It's like it'll be
I'm the
okay.
Sapphire.
Like it's going to be fine. Like we're upset now, but I know that it'll be good. And she even says that in the show. And when we watched it that day, I was like, we need to remember this one because this is
Yeah.
us when we get into spats.
Yeah.
And it really kind of helped us understand what the other one is like, you
Yeah,
know?
that's good.
So I love
Yeah.
that episode.
I
It's one
love
of
that
my
episode
favorite ones.
too. And just like knowing that when they come back together, it's not that their individuals are bad, but
Yeah,
the combination of them is just so much better, you know?
yeah,
They can recognize that they are each other's better half and that they work best as a team. They can be this big, strong, confident, powerful Garnet
yeah,
instead of two small individuals.
exactly.
But yeah, I just got like big feelings, real emotions about just the concept of marriage and the whole wedding episode. I cried like the entire time. When
Yeah,
actually so whenever she proposed, I was not expecting her to propose. Like when she comes back on Amethyst as a horse,
yeah,
and can I just say Amethyst's mouth, she has like those Gen Z filler lips where
yeah.
she's
Just
just
yeah.
constantly like this,
I love her
and like
lips. They're so
everything
funny.
she fuses into or everything she shapeshifts
Has those
into has
lips.
those lips. Cracks me up. So yeah, Ruby rides back in on
Oh, Ruby
Amethyst as a horse.
Rider.
Ruby Rider.
I love that.
Ruby's so cute. Her little
She
voice is
is.
adorable. But yeah, so when she comes back in on the horse and like gets off and Steven comes in, he's like, Ruby has something to say to you. I was like, they're gonna break up. I was so upset. And then she proposes, and I was just like,
Oh my
uh,
god.
yeah, big
Yeah,
emotions about that. And then the entire wedding episode was so good. Like the song that it opens with, like there's a lot of bad
yeah.
shit that's happening in the world. Like I might be my mom. My mom was a bad person. My mom was a war criminal. And let's just forget about
But
that and think
they're
about love
still
for a
good
day.
in life. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
What do you think about Garnet? Being that she was when the show started, she was the leader. She ran the show. And
yeah.
as it moves forward, she's like, Steven, you tell us what to do. And
Yeah.
she gives up the reins to the true leader by the
Yeah.
end.
I thought that was really cool too. And like so Garnet's thing is that she, because of Sapphire, has future vision.
Yeah.
And that's why she was the leader basically, is because she can make all these decisions based on information that she has about the future.
Yeah.
And then there's that really, really good episode where they try to make decisions that are just like, I'm gonna work at the Big Donut. And
Oh, yeah.
where she's like, the part where she like pours the coffee over the counter and is like, these are all the different futures. And then like, I want to get to these spots where there was coffee that had not been connected by other pieces of coffee.
Yeah.
And she like draws a line. She's like, I want to know what happens in these. So let's make some crazy decisions.
Yeah.
I was like, that's unique and fun.
Yeah.
And then she does like a flip over the counter and is like, I quit, and flexes and all of her clothes pop off. That made me laugh. Um,
Speaking
but
of
yeah, so
fusions,
uh-huh.
did you notice this about fusions? This was a Tumblr thing, so every fusion is voiced by a singer.
Every fusion?
Every single fusion.
Natasha Lyonne voices Smoky Quartz though, right?
I think so. Well, I think that might have been the first one that wasn't, but that was like the
Okay.
ongoing thing
Ah.
because Sugalite is Nicki Minaj.
What?
Mm-hmm. The Garnet Amethyst one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh my
Nicki
god.
Minaj.
What?
Uh, Garnet is Estelle.
Yeah.
Um, Opal is some like folk singer lady. I can't really remember her name,
I want to look her up because
but
Opal was one of
like,
the weirdest fucking fusions.
that's one of the big tropes was that like they were all voiced by singers or something.
Okay.
And then yeah, I think
Oh,
it
Amy
kind of
Mann.
yeah.
Huh.
So that was
Okay.
like an ongoing thing, but then it kind of flipped because I did forget that Natasha Lyonne did Smoky Quartz.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was
Like
like
when
an ongoing thing.
I just remembered that because Natasha Lyonne's voice is so
Yeah,
specific, and I was like, that sounds just like her.
yeah.
So is that
So
another clue that people picked up on when they were like, "Oh, Garnet's voiced by a singer, therefore."
yeah, that
Okay.
was like kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of carried on when everybody started. You got to see more fusions.
Yeah.
Be-
Man,
yeah,
the fusions are so good.
I love fusions.
Um, I was trying to find out my final thoughts on
Garnet.
Garnet, not Garment.
Uh-huh.
Um, oh, Garnet's just the funniest character though. Like
I
just
love her, dude.
down pat. She has just the best deadpan stuff.
It's
Like
because she's
that.
so deadpan. It's so good.
Yes, the one where the mailman writes her like a love letter. she
Oh my god.
she writes a love letter
Oh, I
back to
love that
him.
one.
It's so good. It's just like, Jamie, no, love Garnet.
I know.
So good. I really love
He's
Garnet.
like, you can't be that blunt with people.
Oh man,
Okay.
can we talk about the moment that made me first cry in Steven Universe?
Yes, I want to
Okay.
know what your first cry was, because I cry about cat fingers now. I didn't cry the first time I saw it.
Okay.
I do
So
have my first cry.
you have it pulled up?
I'm trying to make sure which one it is. Wasn't Giant Woman? Yeah, I know where it is. It's definitely this one. All right, so give me your first cry.
Okay, so there's an episode where they are on like I think they're on a spaceship fighting something or other, and
Yes.
they're like it's Pearl and Garnet and they're in this little like box and they're just like getting crushed to death essentially. And Steven and Amethyst have like stopped the gears for a time so they have a moment to like think and talk.
Yeah.
And in that moment,
Oh, and
like
that's when she had been tricking Garnet into fusing with her in
yeah,
like a couple shows before.
which also is another like tricky thing to navigate in this world. Like what
Yeah.
does that mean, you know?
Yeah.
It's rough. But yeah, so when they're getting crushed in that little box and Pearl is trying to apologize for it and she's trying to like come up with reasons and she's just basically saying I only feel like I have real true power when I fuse with somebody. Like
Yeah.
whenever I'm myself, this is the point. She goes, "I'm just a pearl." And I
Yeah.
was like, "Just a pearl." It's an interesting way of phrasing it
Yeah.
because at that moment you don't know that pearls are
The
like
little
an AI.
servant. Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically the Janets of Steven Universe.
That is the perfect thing. Yep.
Which is like at this when you find that out, I was like, "Why do I relate so hard to every AI that's in a TV show?"
Yeah.
But yeah, so in that moment when they're like being crushed in that little box and Garnet tells Pearl, like, "You don't need to fuse to be powerful. You could be a different kind of powerful. You don't have to be physically capable. You're very emotionally capable."
Yeah.
And it just like rang true in my heart.
I
Made
just
me feel
because I went and watched it after you told me, and it was her
yeah,
going like, "You are Pearl. You can be
yeah,
what you want. You need to be able to stand on your own because you are.
yeah,
Sometimes I look to you for strength. You don't only get it from me. I get it from you." And then she's all like, "Let's fucking get out of here!" And
yeah, and then they,
everything was
like,
so good.
fuse together consensually and break out of that little
Yeah.
box, and it was an important moment for their characters to have that together.
Yeah. So actually combing through this, I think mine would have to have been Monster Buddies, which is
Oh,
when you get the chaps and stuff, which
yeah.
you probably because you hadn't been watching the show then, but like me and Taylor still say that when we came to your house for Mansions of Madness the last time, like we brought
Yeah.
chips and we like
Chaps.
pulled them out chaps, you know. I think that would be it, but the one that I usually think of is it's Lion 3 straight to video when he finds the video from his mom like talking to him about how she'll be
Yeah.
gone and he'll be his own person, and that's what's beautiful about it.
That was
Because
some rough stuff.
we've never seen her really. Still, we just have that
Yeah.
one picture that's just up in the house,
Yeah. Well,
and then
she's
we
like
got
a
to
goddess
see
on the
her.
wall.
And also, you know why I love Rose so much? Because she's
'Cause
voiced
of
by Megara from Hercules.
Oh, shit, okay.
Like she's got that voice, that good
Yeah.
voice, and she
She does
sings
have a
in
really
it.
good
So
voice.
yeah, yeah, she
Um,
sounds like my girl that you got me that thing for my
Nicole
birthday.
Doolin.
Yeah, Nicole
Yes,
Doolin. They have the same fucking voice, and I
they
love that
do.
voice.
Um, just the fact that Rose Quartz is did you notice that she's kind of drawn different?
Yeah, she's a bit different than
I don't
everybody.
know Yeah, I don't know what it is about her, but, like, whenever we first saw her, I was like, "She's just different." Like, I don't know if her lines are softer or, like, she has a different style about her. Her eyes are a different shape, kind of.
See, I don't know if it's because she's like the myth in the show, so it's
Yeah,
like she gets like an idyllic drawing, like she gets drawn
yeah,
in that softer light, that softer
right.
tone, so it's like, oh yeah, she's so perfect.
Yeah,
She's so perfect, you know.
man. Watching her through both Steven's eyes and through Greg, his dad's eyes, was
Yeah.
really cool and fun to see. Like, there's that one episode where, I think it might be the same one because Greg is telling him about, like, the first time that they oh, no, this is after Greg sees Stevani for the first time.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god. And he's like, "You guys fused?" And, he tells him the story about, like, how he finds out that he's not able to fuse with, rose quartz because they
Yeah.
tried at one point. They were, like, dancing
Yeah.
and having a good time, and then they, like, tried to fuse, and it didn't quite work out. And, they have this emotional moment where they're both like, "How are we gonna make this work? We're both so different."
Yeah.
And it it's good to see such emotion in this show. Like, I really like Greg as a character because he is
I
not
love
afraid.
Greg.
He cries, like, every episode.
Yeah.
It's just nice to see
Yeah.
emotional men. You don't get to see that portrayed very often.
Yeah. I think that's gonna take us into our big one here.
Okay.
I think we gotta talk Pearl,
Oh god, let's talk Pearl.
because there's that. I think that's the same show where they're all singing and having like the jam session, but then Pearl fuses with her and like really rubs that
Yeah.
in Greg's face, like, oh, but I
Yeah.
can, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Pearl's Pearl's Pearl. I love
She
Pearl.
is.
Like, I wanted to say
She's
she's kind
got
of a bitch, but she makes me smile.
she's so complex.
She
I
is. I
I
think
just
she's the most complex person in the show.
for sure, yeah, she's got layers, man, and, well,
Oh
like, you
yeah.
physically see the layers when you go into her
Oh
head to, like,
my god, that's one that I
retrieve
can't wait to discuss with you.
yeah, so we'll talk about that in a moment, but,
Yeah.
like, so just man,
Which, you know what?
Pearl
I have pictures pulled up for Pearl.
okay, yeah, where do we even begin with Pearl? So, essentially
I
what it
guess I
is
just want to
like
start with her lovesick. That's kind of her
yeah,
whole identity
yeah, because, I
early
mean,
on.
she's the Pearl, the assistant, the AI essentially assigned to Pink Diamond, which we find out is rose quartz in the same,
Yeah.
and I I like the concept of Pink Diamond finding Earth and then finding out that, like, oh, it's more than just, like, a possible site for gems. It's a good place to have just, like, experiences, and there's
Yeah.
actual people living life here, and they're so different than everything I know, and I want to get to know them more. So, she goes down to Earth, and she takes her Pearl with her, and Pearl would do anything for her diamond. Like, she would
Literally
follow
anything.
her literally anything. She would follow her anywhere, and, there's just like a it turns from, like, just a loyalty to an appreciation for each other's company, and further into, like, "Oh, actually, I don't ever wanna live without you."
Yeah.
And I I don't know if it's requited by Pink Diamond/Rose slash Rose Quartz, or if it's
I think 0%.
you think 0%? You think it's just, like, Rose just has a love for everyone? Because that's kind of the vibe that I got off of Rose, is that she has so much love in her heart that she would give it to anybody who asked, you know?
I we might have a different depiction of Rose.
Okay. I don't wanna
So,
call her, like, a love slut, but she's
no,
just kind of like she doesn't
here.
have a commitment, I think. She just is like
Here's my question
she
for you that I wanted to ask you.
okay,
I've been waiting to ask you this question.
okay.
Who's the villain of the show?
Man.
Who is
So,
the villain of Steven Universe the show?
that's
Cuz I think there's one. There's one villain. And
who do you
it's
think it
and
is? You
it's
think it's Rose?
it's Rose Quartz.
'Cause
Rose Quartz is the cause and problem for everything in the show.
yeah, like, whenever
And
you find
everybody
out
thinks that she's so loving, but she
yeah,
was very selfish
that's
in
the whole
every
thing about
choice she
her.
made.
Yeah, like, that's her defining quality is that she is the most selfish person
Yeah.
because she she could have anything she wanted and that she kind of knew it,
Mm-hmm.
or even if she didn't know it, she took advantage of it.
Well, okay, but see, here's the other thing with her. Sorry, Pearl. You were gonna get your time.
We're gonna get Pearl time.
Pink Diamond's a child. I mean, like in the eyes of like the diamonds and all that stuff, she's the youngest one by far. Like she's still
Yeah,
basically like a teenager to them.
right, because they do
And
address that
she
too when
yeah,
Steven goes
she
to
does
space later.
act like a teenager. She's impulsive. She just wants to do something and doesn't care for the rules that are in place at the time. Like I think she's only the villain because she's also not mature enough to know what her actions are doing.
Yeah. So it's hard to say how much intent she had in what in what she did. Like another big theme for this show is like living with the decisions of your parents and
Yeah.
you, like making the best of your upbringing and not letting your parents become part of
Define
you.
what you're going to be.
Yeah, exactly. You can't let your familial bounds constrain you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that. I forgot where I was going with this one.
Something about how Rose maybe isn't what we thought. See,
Yeah, she
I
just
think everything that we know as presented in the show are through the idealized vision of everybody else.
yeah, I mean,
Garnet
that's the
sees
thing.
her as the greatest person because she did accept her when she became a fusion first. So to her,
Yeah.
she's the nicest person. But really, she probably didn't care that much about her. She was like, I mean, sure, be here with me. I don't care
Yeah.
because I'm trying to be free, so why don't you be free? But it's not like
Yeah.
I appreciate that you're a fusion. She didn't really care. I
She
don't
was
think she really
almost
cared about anybody.
she was almost a cult leader
Kind of.
because she just like basically anybody who would say yes to her, she took them in and was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
now I have you and now you will do anything for me.
So
So I
now
will let you."
I'm going to go back to Jasper in that episode that I told you that I watched. She actually said that. She said, now I get it. She goes, this is what you do. You wait until a gem is broken and has nowhere else to go, so they will go with you.
Yeah.
And that's why I would rather die right now than come with you. Like, I'm breaking, but I'm not going to join you and be part of it.
How fucked up is
Like,
that?
Jasper kind of saw it. I mean, Jasper's not wrong,
Yeah, I mean, she
but
saw
Jasper
through
was
Rose
just
Quartz.
so brutish about it, which is
Yeah,
why we tend to not like Jasper, you know? But
right.
Jasper wasn't wrong.
She wasn't. Yeah. So that's a good point. Yeah, I mean that's her defining characteristic is that she's selfish and she does what she wants. Like the whole thing is that like so Pink Diamond comes down to Earth and sees this colony and is like, "Okay, I love it here, so I'm going to have to like hide my identity." So I become Rose Quartz and then
And then,
like
oops, I started a war.
yeah. And so did she start the war because the other diamonds were like you can't just was she trying to break away from her identity? Is that why everything began?
Pretty much, she wanted to go live on Earth, but she couldn't be Pink Diamond because then the diamonds would always. I, I guess she thought I'm gonna have to like die to become a
Uh,
new person, and then I have no reason to, stick with my family.
right. And the only person that knows about any of this is our Pearl.
Yeah,
So she has Pearl like take the sword and pretend to stab Pink Diamond.
yeah,
And then they had like a fake out where like these are some fake shards so you can say Pink Diamond was shattered. And
yeah.
Rose Quartz took the blame for killing Pink Diamond, I think to cover Pearl, but it backfired because it started a war. The diamond
Yeah, so
you diamond, now we have to kill you.
yeah, because I think there's some background episodes that show like Rose Quartz like going before the diamonds and like pleading her case and stuff. I don't think that ever happened.
No.
I think that's the narrative that got created because I'm pretty sure the diamonds have created a narrative about Rose Quartz
Yeah.
so that all of Gemkind would hate her. to go in
Yeah.
on this war because really they think this Rose Quartz killed their little sister. So we just fucking hate her. So we need to create the propaganda that you hate her now.
Right. Okay.
Really, Pink's just trying to leave home, but goes, I can't do it as me. They'll always find me. So what if I died? That's a childish, like, quick cover up that then grew into something bigger. I
Yeah.
don't think
Like
she
dreams of
wanted a
faking their
war.
own death.
Yeah, she didn't think there was going to be a war. She wasn't trying to start one. I think it just happened
Yeah.
because she was like, I'm just going to escape to Earth. But as
And
somebody new,
yeah, and instead of like stepping up and being like, actually, I didn't die, she just decided like, I'll let all these other gems fall on the sword for me because they're apparently willing to fight my battles. I don't have to
kinda,
say anything, right?
kinda.
So
Rose Quartz is the villain of the show to me.
yeah, I didn't.
Like you always think it's yellow, blue, and white, right? But
Yeah,
really, they're just a family that's looking for the person that killed their little sister.
basically.
They aren't
Yeah,
really bad. They're just seeking the justice that's owed them in a way.
yeah. I mean, White Diamond is not good
Oh yeah,
objectively.
she's not great.
It's not
She's definitely
great.
the worst of them.
The other two diamonds get like a little bit of redemption, but yeah, White Diamond just straight up sucks. Like she has no redeeming qualities about
A
her.
little bit. I kind of
Um,
like her now. I mean, she kind of came around. I mean, you got to watch the movie.
okay,
I mean, she's still not great. She's still learning to try to be good,
okay,
um, but yeah. So then Pearl literally like pretended to murder. So she took on Rose Quartz's form so that everybody
okay,
thought Rose Quartz killed her, killed
okay.
Pink. So Pink was really just herself standing there, and then remember, as Bismuth told us, her sword can never shatter somebody.
Okay, yeah.
Her sword is designed to pierce you and poof you so that the gem is intact because it's all about, preserving the life or whatever.
Yeah.
So Pearl turns into Rose Quartz. Pink Diamond just stands there. Pearl stabs her looking like Rose Quartz in an, to like frame this Rose character.
Yeah.
And then when Pink Diamond comes back, she just turns into Rose and stays that way forever.
Right.
Which was a big contention when it happened because they were like, but her gem's not different. It's just rotated.
It's just sideways.
Yeah, and we couldn't figure out that it's a diamond. So, like, people were really mad thinking that that was a dumb plot
I
point.
mean, I think it's fine. What a okay, at the end of it though, like when White Diamond like picks up Stephen and like
Hmm.
plucks the gem out of him, like that made me physically
Yeah.
sick. I did not like that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, anyway,
People.
Pearl.
So Pearl.
Pearl truly loved. I think Pearl grew to, like, actually feel love for Rose Quartz.
100%. Yeah, she wanted to like fuse and be with her forever, I think, like in the same way
Yeah.
that Garnet.
But, you know, Rose did not give two shits.
Yeah, she was
She
in love
just
with Greg because he was like the fun new Earth toy, basically.
pretty much, I think it was just the idea that it was a new thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I've never had a person that got this close to me. And then
Yeah.
she just took it a step further to even like get rid of herself to experience the next thing. But now it's Steven who is really living it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's,
One of
I guess, kind of a redemption for her that she self sacrificed, but it wasn't really for anything
I mean,
noble. But
yeah,
I
it
mean,
was
I guess it's noble to have kids in a way,
I guess.
kind of, you
Maybe.
know?
I
I
I
mean,
think it's selfish. That's just like the
yeah, she was
uh,
just trying to have the next experience,
yeah,
but it
that's
just
basically
ended
it.
her.
The one of the standout like one-liners. This show is full of really good one-liners that just like hit so hard and so quick.
Yeah.
But one of the standout ones is like somebody asks, I think Pearl asks Steven, "When did you get so mature?" And Steven's like, sometime between yesterday and finding out my mom was a war criminal."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, yeah, that's about right."
Yeah. You had asked me something about the kid that voiced him. I mean,
Yeah,
he was not like a child when he started,
yeah,
but I mean, he definitely like just like heightened his voice for him
Okay.
because later in the it's like Steven Universe Future, he's like
Uh-huh.
16.
Oh,
Like
okay.
like like Steven becomes 16.
Steven.
And his voice sounds probably more like what the kid actually sounds like now,
Okay.
you know.
Hmm.
He actually released an album because he
Oh,
sings a
cool.
lot in the show, so he made like a theatrical style album and stuff too. He's all about that
Yeah.
stuff. But so
That's
Pearl, is pretty much the lovesick one, and that's the image that I have for you.
Pearl.
I
This
think
episode is so
Pearl was
hard.
the Pearl was the one note. She was the I'm the smart, trying to get everybody through everything.
She's the
I
mom.
Yeah, I miss Homeworld. I wish you could go see it because it's where you're
Man,
from. It's your heritage.
that episode where they're like building the
The
rocket.
space rocket, yeah.
They like get to the edge of space and the rocket's just like falling apart and Steven's like, "We have to go back." And she's like, "I need you to see it." That made
Yeah.
me cry too.
I think this moment, right? So between what Garnet yelled at her, you can be your own person, right?
Mhm.
And this moment right here, Mr.
Ugh.
Greg. I think this is when Pearl finally, her character fully starts to grow and change
Yeah,
because
definitely.
she addresses those things that are deep down inside.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I found this image. That's a heartbreaking image.
It's a good image. Yeah, that whole song that she sings is so, like, poignant and succinct. Just tells the whole
God.
story, basically. I
Yeah.
mean, so she talks about how, like, she was so in love with Rose and it was never reciprocated, and she went off and found this other, like, fun Earth guy and decided to, have a life with him instead, and now she's just
And
stuck here,
then
like,
and then
raising their kid.
disappear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you chose somebody else over me and then died, chose to die, and now I raise what came out of your death.
Yeah, and it's so heartbreaking how Pearl just, like, refuses to interact with Greg, just, like, does not wanna have a polite conversation with him, doesn't wanna be
Yeah.
his friend, and Greg this whole time is just like, "Let's be buddies because
Like
they
let's
have a lot in
try.
common, like, they
Yeah.
both loved the same person, they both got the same loss. They
Yeah.
both love Steven, so why not be friends
I
about
did
it?
watch this show not too long ago and I've been singing that song, not the this one, but when Steven gets them to like be friends.
Yeah.
Like, you both love me and I love both of you. Like,
Yeah, it's a
that
good
song's
song.
been stuck in my head this whole time. And when I watched it, I fucking so boo-hooed because
Yeah,
by the end of the show, they are like such good friends.
they are.
And I almost forgot how they weren't so early
Yeah,
on. Like, I'm so used to them as they are now that you forget where
right.
they came from, you know?
They've grown a lot.
Everybody in the show has grown so much.
I
Like there's
know.
there's almost no character that ever really stayed in one spot.
I
Everybody went up.
also the relationship between, Pearl and Connie was fun because,
Yeah.
just train her to be a cool swordsman, and she learns so much so fast, and,
Dude,
like,
Connie's the shit.
I love Connie so much, and
So you said you had a favorite gem, but then you were like, can you guess my favorite character? I was gonna guess if it was Connie.
okay, I I don't want you to be upset.
It's fucking Ronaldo,
No,
isn't
I
it?
can't
Okay,
stand
good.
Ronaldo.
It's
I
Onion.
love Onion
I
so
knew
much.
it. Gross.
He's so weird, and there's so many moments in the show where just, like,
Oh my
he
god.
he shows up and does something, like, fucking weird, and I crack up, like,
He is
audibly
so
just, like,
weird.
guffawing at this
I
onion.
just want to know what his deal is. So actually, if you go back now and watch our Life is Strange
Uh-huh.
stream, in Chloe's room, there was this sticker on the wall, and
Yeah.
if you go back and watch, I go, "Is that Onion?" And I was like, "Oh, no one knows what that is here." And then I just moved on with the game. But like,
Okay.
I thought there was an Onion sticker in her room of that kid.
Weird. Wow.
So
I love Onion. Like, he's just, like, a much needed comic relief in this show. He just
so
shows
weird.
up, does strange shit, disappears.
Hate
Like,
him.
I love him. I love him. I don't even there's an episode where Steven is like, I think it's the one where he's the Zoltar on the beach
Oh,
front,
okay.
and Onion comes up and he's, like, about to steal some shit or something, And then
Yeah.
Steven's like, "You're gonna get caught," and he, like, leaves, gets a mask, and comes back.
Yeah.
And it's just just really funny. Just, like, stuff happens in the background all the time with Onion, and it's just, like, good
Yeah.
comic relief if you're paying attention to it.
See, I thought my favorite character was gonna be Connie,
Yeah.
but now that I'm thinking about it, there's a clear favorite character of mine, hands
Is
down.
it Greg?
No, it's not Greg.
I love Greg.
I love Greg, but it's Lars.
Okay.
I love Lars so
Lars
fucking much.
and Sadie are both such good characters. Like, they both have, like,
That's
really
another
interesting
relationship
arcs.
style because you think it's
Yes.
all like they're gonna get together by the end of this show. It's just
Yeah.
like waiting to happen, and it
I
never happens.
it's 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 a really good demonstration of like your first love. It's kind
Yeah,
of a love of convenience because they're friends and they hang out a lot and they make comments about like, you want to come over and watch a movie at my place like the old days.
yeah,
Like, you can tell that they kind of maybe not grew up together, but they were very close as kids,
yeah,
and they work together, so they spend a lot of time together just forcibly. And
yeah.
the episode where they go to the island is
Oh,
so, like, transformative for Lars.
yeah,
So, like, they get transported by Steven to this weird island, and, they use, like, a gem pad or whatever, and,
yeah,
uh, what's her face? Sadie, when they get there,
yeah.
hides the gem pad so that they can't
Ooh,
transfer back,
Sadie. Mm-hmm.
and then so they spend it's not really said how much time they
I'd
spend
say
on this
at least a
island.
week.
Yeah, I would say
It's a
1 to
long
2
time.
weeks,
Yeah,
and, like, you just see their relationship kind of blossom and get more comfortable, like, they're catching food together to survive, and they're building shelters, and she's
yeah.
wearing his shirt, and they, like,
Which
cuddle at night for warmth.
I think it's also a bit like a Rose and Pearl thing because Sadie likes Lars
She
100%.
does.
It's
Yeah.
like known, but he
Yeah.
kind of like doesn't, you know, like
I think he's
you
just
think he
afraid to
does.
feel.
Yeah, well, don't we find out later that he's actually got like great parents, right?
He does have really good parents, and he's, like, not doing well in school, and they let him, like, live rent-free in their basement or attic or something,
Yeah.
and they're just basically, like, good parents, and they
He's
buy him
just
stuff that
like
he wants.
rebelling against life.
Yeah, basically, he's just the
Yeah.
typical rebellious teen, and
Yeah.
Sadie too has her issues with her own mom, where, like, her mom is so involved in her life and wants her to succeed and be good and be the best, and she
Yeah.
supports her, but she supports her to, like, a suffocating degree, so Sadie's
That
like, "You
one
need to get off."
that one made me cry a bit when she's like, "I wouldn't mind if you made me lunch tomorrow." And she's like,
Yeah,
"Okay, honey." And I was like, "Oh my god."
sweet.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Um,
they're snuggling on the beach,
yeah,
all
so
that
they go
good
to that
stuff.
island, and they have that whole experience, and there's a part where Lars is, like, holding Sadie's face, and he's crying, and he's just like there is a love between them, and it's definitely a mutual love, and it's I just
Yeah.
don't think it's one of those flames that, like, burns so hot and so bright, and then it's done, and
Yeah.
they should break up and move on, which they eventually do, and they grow as people.
Yeah.
So, they both end up, like, quitting the Big Donut, and Sadie has a really cool rock career.
Oh my god, she's
That
so good.
song that song they sing, "The Working Dead," my god, that
Okay.
that song is
So
so good.
I was gonna save this for the end, but I
Okay,
think I'm gonna go ahead and announce this as well.
okay,
But we watched Steven, all that good stuff. But I've had a plan for this show for a
yes,
long time. There's no date as of yet because I want to make sure all patrons are ready for this and we can make this happen for everybody.
everybody get your calendars out right now.
But I want to watch the Steven Universe movie, all of us together. We'll all
Yes,
jump in the Discord together and I will share it out. And we're going to have a watch party and watch this movie with Kelsey for the first time.
hell yeah,
I want to do it so bad, but there's a song she sings in there 'cause she's still with the band in that movie, and
awesome,
that song is so fucking good.
man.
And it's another like worker song,
She
and you're
has
gonna
just, like
fucking dig it.
I love her so much, like, their whole aesthetic with, like, the old horror movies and stuff
Yeah, dude.
is
God,
so
they're so
good.
good. Yeah, so Sadie's good, but then Lars, I just
Lars,
he's such a punk.
He has
But he has
the
such a big
most.
heart, though.
He does. He just wants to be like in with the cool kids. And that episode where he's like invited to the
Oh
potluck
yeah,
and Sadie goes to the potluck. This is how she meets her band essentially. So Sadie goes to the potluck and Lars is going to go, but he like chickens out about it because
yeah,
he's too afraid to bring this like really intricate, delicate cake that he baked. He's like, I don't want them to know I can bake. That's a sissy thing or whatever.
yeah. I know. What a punk.
Lars.
I love
Just want to like
Lars.
hold his face, shake it
You
until he
just
gets better.
you just want to crawl in his hair.
Just want to crawl in his hair.
So okay, what did you think when he died?
I was I was
Legit
so close
dead.
to texting you and being like, I'm not gonna finish watching the show. I was so mad.
I
I thought
was
that they were
so
legit going to
upset.
kill him, and I
Yeah.
was like, "This is the worst. This
I was
is the
like,
worst thing that could
I was like,
happen."
okay, the show is like pulling out the stops. We're gonna kill
Yeah.
characters now.
I thought that they were actually going to kill a character because that's like the mark of when a children's show kind of has a turn, they're like, "Ooh, let's
Yeah,
get gritty, kill a character."
yeah,
But they didn't. They decided, let's resurrect him with Steven's magical healing powers, which are finally like coming into their own
yeah.
full-fledged power.
Which
Like,
then explain essentially what lion is.
yes, because he when he cries on Lars, right?
Yeah,
And the tears are like his skin turns this pink color and his
yep.
hair turns that like light pink, the same as Lion's mane. And you just get like Lars the pink space pirate, which is the
Fucking Lars of the
fucking
Stars, man.
he's the coolest
It's the
like character arc
best.
that you could possibly have. He was just some punk working at the donut shop, and now he is
Fucking
essentially
Lars of the
Pink Han
Stars.
Solo.
Yeah, like I think that was his thing. It wasn't so much like he was just trying to rebel. I think he always just wanted more, but here he was stuck in this podunk town and I served donuts to probably 3 people a day.
Yeah,
I'm meant for so much more and he could like take on intergalactic armies
yeah,
and like he was so much more than what he had available in his surroundings, you know?
yes,
And I think that's probably what causes a lot of people to be frustrated. It's just I can't I can't use my potential because of my circumstances of life, you know?
yeah. Like he lived in Beach City, which is a town of like 20 people,
Yeah,
and like he had nothing. There was nothing there for him, but because he was a teenager, he couldn't like just up and move away. So
exactly.
and then
So,
when he comes back, when his ship finally lands at the very, very end, he like crashes into Sadie's rock concert essentially,
yeah.
and they get to meet up again. And like the thing that struck me is that like when they're deboarding the spaceship, all the gems are like, "Oh, it's Sadie. We're finally gonna get to meet Sadie," because he's clearly been like talking about her the whole time they've been in space.
Yeah.
So they like
Oh,
finally.
what do you what do you think of the one that's the sapphire that sees everything too late? And so
Oh
like
my
Sadie's
god.
right there and she's like, oh, "We're about to meet Sadie." And they're like, "Dude, fucking that just happened."
I
I
love her
love
so much.
her. She's the
Yeah.
coolest character.
There's like this show works in so many good little one-liners and they get them to like the best characters.
Yeah.
So funny.
So,
Um
one of the biggest things that me and Taylor still say, fucking right here,
Bingo Bongo.
fucking bingo bongo.
Bingo
Dude,
Bongo.
we say that all the time.
I love Lars. Look at him.
I love. He's so perfect now.
Look
Like,
at our boy.
this is what he was meant to be.
Yeah,
He
he's
feels
like
so complete.
yeah, he's come into his own now. This is what he's meant to
Yeah.
do. He's found it.
But, I mean, the people in the video will have seen that I was already pulling this up while I was talking to you. But, do you see this person right here?
Uh-huh.
So, this is a villain that's shown for like, what, 20 seconds in that part. That's who he's talking to there.
Yeah.
I like forget her name, but this is Jinx Monsoon, the drag
What?
queen.
Really?
Okay, Jinx Monsoon put out a video online a long time ago of her at one of her drag shows, and she was singing the theme to Steven Universe. And
Cool.
she's like singing it to the crowd, and then she's just like, Rebecca Sugar, I just want to be on your show and be a gem, and just sings about like basically asking to be on the show at some point.
Oh my god.
And she was put on the show at some point.
That's so cool.
So, of course, this is one of me and Taylor's other reasons this is our favorite one, because Jinx Monsoon actually got tapped on the shoulder. Hey, come be in the show.
Yeah.
And it's a small part, but she got to voice a gem, which she wanted to do for so
That,
long.
that's nice. I really like this show. I think it provides opportunities to people who
I love
ordinarily
that.
may not get them, you know?
Yeah.
It uplifts
Bingo
voices that need to be
bongo.
uplifted. Bingo
Yeah.
bongo.
And see, look, we got like drag queens that voice characters in the show. Like the show is just open to everything.
It is
Nothing's
diverse.
really off the table
Yeah.
with this show. You know?
They really do a thing about, like, flipping gender norms a lot too. So, like, even in the wedding
Yeah.
scene, when you get to see, Garnet and Sapphire or fucking Ruby and Sapphire
Yeah.
get married, become
Yeah.
Garnet, Jesus
Garnet.
Christ, I cannot speak. Um, the fact that, Sapphire, who her day-to-day garb is just, like, a blue princess dress,
Yeah.
she gets to dress up in, like, a little tux, and then, Ruby comes out in that, like, pretty little
And
dress.
she's in the dress. Yeah, I know. Because
It does
that's the like. Because Ruby's the bodyguard, the tough one. And that's
yeah.
the one in the dress. You
Yeah,
know?
and
Yeah.
there's there's a big thing in, like, I guess, straight culture where people are just like, "Which one's the boy? Which one's the girl in the relationship?" And, like,
Yeah.
it it's not that clear cut, and it doesn't have to be, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Sapphire can wear a dress to the wedding, and she can wear whatever she wants any other day.
You know, that's a question I was going to ask you. What did you think that every single gem is a woman?
I like that, and
All the
I
most
think
powerful people in the universe,
yeah.
they are all women.
Yeah, I think it's really good, and it's important to show that to children because you don't get to see it's not every cartoon where you get powerful women, you
Yeah.
know? It's not every depiction of media that you see that women are strong and capable and can do anything.
Yeah. I just fucking love the show. I fucking
But the
love the
characters
show.
are complex too. Like they don't there's nobody in the show that's just one note, I think. Like they start out
Oh
kind of that
no.
way,
Yeah.
but the deeper you get into the show, the more it develops and evolves. Like everybody has something deeper going on with them. It's
I
not
f-
nothing is surface level.
yeah. I
Not
feel
even
like it
Onion.
probably started that way. You know how like
Yeah.
everything has to be palatable to the masses to start. And then
Yeah,
once
that's
like
exactly
it
it.
becomes like okay, we like this, the creators can start to go, okay, here's what I want to do.
Yeah, and then by the finale, you're like, "What about a gay wedding?" And
Yeah.
they have to say yes.
Yeah, I know. Cuz um totally unrelated, but you had talked to me the other day. You were listening to a podcast about Brad Paisley and you were like, "I didn't know he played guitar."
Yeah.
Right? And
I mean, I knew he played guitar. I didn't know he shredded guitar.
yeah, but like he's kind of one of those things too. When he first came out, there's no guitar in his early songs because he wasn't making the music. He was probably given the music to sing because we
Yeah.
need to see if people will like you. And then in his next album, he had like a little bit of like his spark of guitar stuff that he would do, and it's like just a little
Mhm.
bit. But people are like, "Ooh, we like that." And then in the next one, there was more, and then it was like, "Do whatever you want now." And I think this show follows that same thing. It was like, okay, it's on Cartoon Network. It's got to be for kids. Let's make it funny. Let's
Yeah.
do all the stuff. And then they're like, all right, let's pepper in Monster Buddies. Let's see if kids can handle this hard emotion. All right, let's handle meeting a mom that you've never gotten to know. Let's throw this in there.
Yeah.
Let's throw this in there. And then the end, it's just like, this is truly a lesbian couple, and there's a war on this planet, and everyone's gonna
And this
fucking
one's a fusion
die.
of, like, 6 people who are all kind of together all the time.
Yeah, like the show ramps up, I think, once they knew we were about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then it was free to just like express what it wanted to express.
Right.
And it did so much. Like Steve, we've never really talked about Steven. This is his fucking show.
It's true.
But his characters, I think he has a lot of the most soul searching.
Yeah, for sure, because he has the whole thing of, like, "Am I me? Am I my mother? Was my mother a good person? Was she a terrible war criminal?
Will I
Was
be
she"
what they want me to be? Because everyone thinks I'm going to be the greatest person alive.
Yeah, like, am I a human? Am I a gem? Am I somewhere in between?
Yeah.
Like,
I
the whole time is just him trying to figure out what his place in the world is, and you get to see that, like, early on in the Crystal Gem missions. He's like, I want to go on the
Yeah.
missions with you guys. I'm not a kid anymore. Let me in on it. And
Yeah.
just watching them kind of let him grow, like that is
Oh,
another.
I was gonna ask you about that one. There's one early on where they're like, okay, we're gonna run you through like a test course and we'll see how you do. And he's just like steamrolling it. And he's like, it's the easiest
Yeah,
thing ever. And then he finds out that it's all rigged because they're like, well, we need to make him feel good so that he knows
right.
that he can be ready and all that stuff. Like, what'd you think about that?
I thought that it was sweet because I can see it from the Gem's point of view. Like they
Yeah,
are wanting to be gentle on him. They're kind of the mother figures that he doesn't have. Like they're all trying to fill the role of mom, but
yeah,
bingo bongo.
bingo bongo. Like,
um,
I was mad when I first watched it. I was
yeah,
like,
because
fuck that.
you want Steven to actually go out and succeed as a person on his own. You don't want him to like
Yeah,
they're really holding his hand through it, and he doesn't know that.
but well, so I was mad when I first watched it, and then also not mad when I finished it. Because even knowing it, he plays into it for him. So really, he's the one being nice to them.
Yeah, sometimes the kid has to parent the parent.
Exactly. And I was like, well, damn. Like, he even knows, and he actually took the bigger road and is like, I'll take that, not throw a tantrum about it. He's like,
Yeah.
I see what they're doing, and I get it. You know, sometimes people are just trying to help protect you. 'Cause your parents want to be there for you all the time.
Yeah, they think they know what's best for you and they want to be that for you, but
Yeah,
it's another thing, like, you have to let the kid grow up and figure out what they want for themselves and what they're capable of.
exactly.
Otherwise, you
And
get people like Lars who just go to the donut shop and work
yeah,
there forever.
and Steven proved it in spades by the end of the show.
Yeah,
He takes over. He rules the show by the end.
he
But
does.
I was like I said, cherry picking some shows yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and I watched. I feel like a lot of the big character moments are those Lion ones. It's called like Lion One,
Yeah,
something Lion Two, then Lion Three straight to video, and then it was Lion Four. It was like conclusion or something.
where he finds the second videotape that's, like, to Nora.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'd kind of forgotten how much season four Steven was just in turmoil about who he was as a person.
yeah,
Because he like takes that tape and he's like, this is my destiny. This will tell me what I'm supposed to do in life. And then it
right.
doesn't.
Yeah, and then he gets even more confused because he's like, "Who is Nora? Am I Nora? Am I my mom? Am I Steven? Who am I supposed to
Is
be?"
is there another do I have a sister out there somewhere?
Yeah,
And then Greg cried, and of course I'm like, oh Greg, you're so awesome.
poor Greg.
I love Greg. But like Steven goes through a whole lot of unknown.
Yeah,
He's always trying to figure out his place. And that's a thing for kids too. Like Steven's a good thing for kids. Like you don't have to be so worried about what your place is because you'll find it.
yeah,
And nobody else can tell you that's where to go, that's where you fit in.
yeah,
Which is the whole point of the crystal gems. Gems fit in a mold. They come out of the mold and boom, they're laid out to go. But the crystal gems' whole point is you can break that mold and you can be what you want.
hmm.
Find your place, find your life, find your passions and interests and stuff.
Yeah,
This show, I think this is a good show for anyone to watch that is struggling with any type of emotional baggage in any way. You can find
yeah.
something in here to help you sort it out, kind of.
Literally, they just like pepper in good shit the entire way through.
The
Like it
whole
just
way.
life lesson after life lesson on just a variety of topics. It's not just about relationships. It's about finding yourself. It's about finding out like more about your parents, treating your parents as humans, because that's a lesson that we all
Yeah.
kind of have to learn as we grow up too, is that like your parents aren't always going to be what you thought they were, and they're human
Yeah.
too, and they're full of flaws.
It's kind actually, see, I finished this show like 2 years ago. The show's been done for a long time.
Yeah.
And I came to a new realization today before we started to record. Because I was
Oh,
talking about who was the villain. And me and Taylor have had that discussion. We both think it's Rose Quartz.
yeah.
But so when they revealed that Pink Diamond was Rose, Taylor was pissed.
Was she?
Yeah, 'cause she thought there'd be like a deeper thing there and it wouldn't be just so surface level. Because everybody thought, oh, well, Rose is just going to be Pink Diamond. Like
Really?
the internet totally thought that. I thought that the entire show. I was like,
I
oh
didn't
yeah.
see it coming.
I was like, Rose is totally that person. and then they tried to like throw you off the trail, but then it still happened. And Taylor was like, I wanted it to be more. Like I thought there'd be a bigger thing here, right?
Yeah.
But apparently that was Rebecca Sugar's plan from the beginning. Like
Okay.
that was the way it was. And I said, "Well, really, I guess this is a lesson in you don't want to meet your heroes."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I've never thought about that before." Because rose quartz, pink diamond, that whole thing, it's so up here. It's this legendary status.
Yeah.
And really we find out how little of a legendary thing they did.
Right.
Nothing she
Like
did was really that amazing.
she didn't do shit. Like she faked her own death, and then like a bunch of people died for her, and that's it.
Yeah. So even on that level, this is a hey, don't meet your heroes. Sometimes you don't want to know how they really got to that status.
Yeah.
And I thought of that today
Dang.
after 5 years of this show, you know? Like
Yeah.
there's something there's so many onion layers to this damn show. It's it's just a good show to sit and discuss because
Yeah.
it can mean something different to everybody.
There was like the show is just like I said, it's full of good little quotes. There's one like toward the very end of the show. I don't remember who says it, but they say in order to fix it, you have to admit that it's broken.
Yeah.
And that is huge.
Mhm.
Like that's something that I also struggle with is just like not like if something is wrong, just kind of internalize it and deal with it. Don't admit
Yeah.
that it's broken because that's admitting that you are broken if something in
Yeah.
your life is messed up, but you have to like do the soul searching and do the work to admit when something is broken so you can take the steps to fix it.
That is huge in this show.
Yeah.
Steven's first thing is always let's talk first.
Yeah, let's
He
talk
never
it
wants to
out.
fight anything off the bat. He wants to talk first.
That's exactly what when he goes to White Diamond when he's, essentially accepted his role as Pink Diamond up in space.
Oh
He's like,
yeah.
"I just talk to her." And
Yeah.
everyone's like, "You can't do that. What are you trying to
What
do?"
the hell are you thinking? Yeah.
With just talking. That's all. But I think it's so important. Like I'm excited about this show just as an entity for children to watch. I think it's got just
Yeah.
so many good like difficult things pared down to very simplistic concepts.
Yeah.
It takes big stuff and it just like puts it
And
in a
it
little
just
bundle.
works it. Yeah.
And it never talks down to the audience. There's one moment where Steven fuses with Garnet and becomes Sunstone.
And the whole like 80s like, "Hey kids, don't smoke."
Yeah, and they, like, look directly into the camera and they're
Yeah.
like, "You have a bully, talk to an adult," and then they, like, jump up on a White Diamond or whatever.
I think
That
that
was
maybe led into their whole thing they're doing now with those shorts where they're kind of like
Yeah,
talking at the kids.
yeah,
I don't know. I just got like that old school TV vibe from that character because I was like, this is
yeah.
so different, but I guess it's just the character of this person, you know?
They do make a lot of references in this show to just, like, other stuff, like, there's a few references to Ghostbusters and Jurassic Park, and then they say
Yeah.
Bunga Kawa quite often,
Oh
which I
yeah.
thought was quite funny. In that way, it's designed for, like, people of our age, I think, just, like, small jokes like that hidden throughout,
Yeah.
which is nice.
I was gonna ask what you thought of the ending, like the like ripping out the gem and then the being like two halves of
Ugh.
himself and like he can't like even stand up anymore and then like they come
Yeah.
together. Like, what did you take from all that?
I
So I
think
thought it
that
was a
that
weird fucking ending.
it was really weird and kind of cerebral in a way for kids, like, I don't
Yeah.
think kids saw the ending and were happy about it probably.
Yeah.
But, for me, I think it just kind of touched on, like, Steven, he's wrestling with his identity the whole time, like, "Am I a gem? Am I a human? Am I supposed to be my mom or my dad or something else entirely?" He lands on the concept, I think, at the end of this where so when his halves split and he's like, there's pink Steven, which is just the
Yeah.
gem part of him, and then there's flesh Steven, which is just the human part of him. Neither of those two can function. Like the gem one is kind of unstable and like creates that crater and is like slightly
Yeah.
floating. And like you said, pink like flesh Steven can't stand at all or even do anything.
Yeah.
And then Connie helps him like come together and like they meet each other in the middle and they hug and they fuse.
Yeah.
So it's just another way of saying like, oh, this is one of the big quotes that I took away from it. So there's
Okay.
a moment when he's talking to his mom, and I wrote it down, and he says, "Fuck, I forgot where I put it." But
Okay.
his mom is like, "Whenever you love yourself, that's me loving you,"
Yeah.
which is like, wow, what a concept. But at that moment, I think he kind of learned to love himself and was able to marry the two halves of him and accept himself for who he really is.
That's what I not at first. I had to think about it. But yeah, I think that was him accepting himself and becoming Steven kind of for the first time.
Yeah.
Cuz he's always been so who am I? And I think that's when it happened.
Yeah.
But I remember being like, what the fuck is happening?
I know.
This is weird.
Yeah, the whole time that was going on, I was like, "This is unique."
Yeah, it's definitely different. But that whole ending though, man.
The
What
part
a
when all 4 of
battle.
them fuse, all the crystal gems,
And
they
just
just
those arms just
put together.
bump
My
bump.
god, they create obsidian, right?
Yeah. Dude, and
Oh,
then she fucking takes that sword hilt and
yes.
just goes, hump,
It's so
fire sword.
cool. Yeah, I was, like, yelling at that moment
Oh
because
my
Connie
god.
is like, "Don't worry, I got this," with her little sword that Bismuth gave her, and then the fucking just like, sword. I was like,
What do you
"Yes."
think about Connie and
I love
Steven?
Connie.
I
I
think
think Connie is
what a
just
perfect little pairing they make. I'm so
yeah.
glad they fell in love.
Well, do they fall in love?
I'm pretty sure like they're like in love.
I don't think they are,
Cause well,
'cause there's
you need to watch
there's
the
a
movie.
okay.
Yeah.
I I don't want them to get together because that it kind of you and I have talked about this before where there's like tropes when like a guy friend and a girlfriend can be just friends and
Yeah.
there's beauty in that where they don't force a romantic relationship on it. They can just have like a good like a really nice pure wholesome friendship together and they just
Yeah.
support each other. And that's the vibe that I get off of Connie and Steven. And there's
Yeah.
an episode too where Steven and Connie are trying to help Lars and Sadie with something or other and Steven's trying to get him to say that he loves Connie or that he
Oh yeah. Sadie.
loves, Sadie,
Yeah.
and the like, he tries to finish the sentence for him because Lars is like, "Well, she's my," and then Connie and, Steven are both like, "Your best friend."
Yeah.
And it's like, that's so sweet, like, they don't want them to be in love, they want them to be best friends.
I think I think Steven and Connie like are best friends now,
Yeah,
but it'll definitely blossom into that as they get older.
maybe.
I always took that they were kind of a thing because like he's always at like her parents, and then like
Yeah,
they're so involved in what she does with him, which I find that amazing. That there's like, yeah, you do intergalactic war stuff with your friend. That's cool,
yeah. They
but they're
had to
so
come to terms
normal.
with it, though, because there's that episode where, she confiscates the sword from her,
Oh
and then
yeah,
she has to go treat her fucking creepy ass patients in that terrible hospital where the
yeah.
patients are like those horrifying gem fusions that have gone
Oh,
wrong.
part of the like cluster stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
My god. This show does, like, nightmare stuff really well.
yeah, it
Like,
does.
there's moments like Steven's throwing up his mom's hair, like, that's
Oh yeah.
fucking weird shit, you know?
Oh,
Like
that just made me think because I was looking up that stuff.
the show has a way of taking really crazy imagery and just illustrating it
Yeah,
in
I was trying to
a visceral
find.
way.
It's when I was trying to find a GIF of a chillatide when Jose guessed what it was. I was just gonna be like chillatide, right? And I
Yeah.
kept coming across that image
Oh my god.
with like Lapis just like spewing the water from her face. Like
Yes.
that is so nightmarish.
There's a lot of really nightmarish imagery in this show.
Yeah.
Like, even
Blah.
just mild nightmare stuff, like, whenever they fuse like, the 3 crystal gem ladies fuse into the big one, Alexandrite, I think,
Yes.
and, like, they open their whole face into another mouth
Yeah.
that's got, like, fangs and stuff, that it's fucking creepy, but it's very, very
Oh,
cool.
gross. Here's like a
That's
fan art of
terrifying.
that. That is terrifying.
I hate that.
But yeah. Um, man, look at Lapis. She's so great.
She is
Love
great.
her. But so, um, I mean, yeah, the show is just, it's a ride.
It is.
There's so much to unpack in it that we could never fully unpack sitting down and talking about it now.
I know. I'm trying to think if there's like anything we've missed, and there's so much. Like,
I think there is, kind of, but that can go into our standout moments.
okay,
I just wanted to ask you if you think of the show, what are some of the things that you just go, "Oh, that's like where my mind would go as soon as I think about it every time."
it's hard for me because I'm
Cuz it's so
so fresh
fresh.
off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, it's still just like the entire show is in my head, so
Do you know
it's
what I
hard to
think
say.
of every time?
Tell me.
When I think about it, I picture this scene every time. That opening for Bismuth when just like it's completely still, just the like wind's blowing, the hair's moving, and it just shows that title card.
Yeah,
I think of that moment all the time when I think about this show.
that was a really good episode.
Because then Bismuth just, yeah, as herself, not believing that he's Steven, that it is Rose, and Rose had popped her because she was willing to murder Gems
Yeah.
when Rose was not willing to do so. And Steven, that was a big like Steven growing up moment. Having to basically stab her, poof her again, and be like, yeah, you're not ready to come out.
Yeah, that was horrible. Like
Yeah, whoop,
I
you
didn't think
done.
the show was going to go there. You know, like I said, they never actually kill off a character because they do bring back Bismuth,
Yeah,
but that was one of the gritty moments where it's like, ooh, we're a nasty show. We can kill people, run them through with a
yeah.
sword.
Like, I mean, I get where Bismuth comes from. Bismuth is just trying to save her family and friends.
Yeah, Bismuth
And
is just doing
the,
what's best.
yeah, because the enemy isn't holding back, so why should we?
Right.
And then that comes into stuff me and Taylor have talked about with like, sometimes you feel like you should step to that level, but then there's those heroes that tell you once you do that, you're no better than them. Like, we can't
Yeah.
ever stoop to it. We have to keep dealing with their problems because it's the better and right thing to do.
Right.
And so Steven's like, we can't do that. And he breaks that uh, star killer thing or whatever, that gem shattering device,
Yeah.
and pops her. And then, oh, that part, because I did watch this one too. And she's all like, he's like, she says, you just popped me and then you left me? You didn't even tell everybody where I was? And he goes, I will this time. And she goes, you really are better than her. And
Yeah.
then pops, and then he limps into the room with them and she goes, I gotta tell you guys some shit.
Yeah.
He spends most of his life trying to atone for all the shit that she left behind.
Yeah, and that's like rough shit, you know? I
Yeah,
feel bad for kids that have parents that are just monsters because I know that
yeah,
exists. You know, there are children that grow up out of uh, roses that grow up out of weeds, essentially,
yeah,
and I think that the show probably speaks to them on a greater level.
yeah. That's one for me. The Mr. Greg one.
Ah, that
I
episode,
just
like
love Mr. Greg.
pristine.
It's so good. Actually, one of my favorite ones is one of my favorite songs. It's the beginning of
Okay.
season 2 when they mix in his ringtone to the song, and he's basically saying like, I don't want to be friends with Connie because she could
Ah,
be endangered because of me now.
yeah,
I sang that song for like 2 years straight after that show, and it was my ringtone for a long time.
yeah.
Do 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 do. I love that song.
Um,
Um.
one of my favorite songs and moments
Okay.
is the the last moment of the show,
Okay.
which they're like sitting on the beach and Steven's got his ukulele and they
Oh
just sing
yeah.
like that tiny little song that's like, I you don't have to respect me, I respect me. You don't have
Yeah.
to love me, I love me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, he's grown so much and learned, and
Oh, because you brought that up. The beginning of the fucking show. Are you ready for this? Are you, are
okay.
you, are you ready to have your mind blown? Because it ties right
Sure.
into you at the end of the show there. You ready? The first episode is about Cookie Cat. It's about
Yeah.
that frozen treat. That's his life told in the song. That's the entirety of the show in the song.
And the Cookie Cat song?
Cookie Cat. He's a pet for your tummy. Cookie Cat. He's super duper yummy. Cookie Cat. He left his family behind. Cookie Cat, the character, is Rose and Steven.
What? What?
Cookie Cat is the allegory of what he will be going through. Cookie Cat is like a representation of Steven.
What the fuck?
And then it ends with him eating a Cookie Cat.
Okay.
Because remember, they sing it to him at the end? It's like the conclusion to that little saga.
What?
Cookie Cat is a representation of Steven.
Okay.
He left
I'm
his
gonna need
family
to, like,
behind and all that stuff.
look up
Yeah, you might
the
need to look
Cookie
it
Cat.
up.
Cookie Cat song.
I mean, it doesn't say like, oh, he fought a war, but like he left his family behind. Like it's Cookie Cat is Steven.
Okay, he's a
Or
frozen
well,
treat.
like
His
like
came to the planet
like Rose
from
and stuff.
space. A refugee of an interstellar war, but now he's at your local grocery store. Yep.
Like it's secretly him and like his story, and like that's his favorite treat, and really it's him.
Weird.
And then by the end of it, like he has gone through all this stuff, and then they end with Cookie Cat again.
Wow.
It's just something that is like pervade through the entirety of the show.
Yeah. All right. I never
Like
drew that string together.
I know, but Tumblr sure did a long time
Of course
ago.
they did.
And Taylor's always been about it, and so we watched the first show when you started to watch it, and he starts singing Cookie Cat, and Taylor just busts out crying. She's like, it's fucking just his life.
What? Okay.
Well, she just really loves this show. She
Yeah, it is a really
she
good
loves
show.
his struggle, where he comes from, what he goes through, what he grows from. She loves this show, and she was so jealous of you.
To being able to experience it for the first time.
Yeah, she was like, I wish I could wipe my memory of the show and watch it again.
Yeah.
She's like,
This is a show that I
wish
would
I could
watch
know.
again.
Yeah. It's a good show.
It's a really, really solid show.
But wasn't I right when I said the moment you'll go like, all right, I kind of like it? Giant Woman.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
It's always Giant Woman. Giant
Yeah.
Woman's the first time you're like, this might be more of a show.
Yeah.
Like, what is up with this show?
That's
I'm
when you
intrigued.
you're like, now there's something going on.
Plus,
Plot.
Opal is possibly the best fusion that there is.
I do love Opal.
I love Opal. Opal is great. Yeah, I don't really know what else we could really. Oh, what did you think of his birthday show when he like
Oh,
goes young and then old, and like he's like about
That
to
was
die
so
because he feels
funny.
himself so old?
and then he like zaps back down into a little baby,
Yeah.
like the tiniest little baby swimming in that shirt. I love it because Connie wakes up and she's like, "Where is he? He's aged back down. He's too small."
Can we just discuss how fucking handsome Greg Universe is as a human? I love him.
He's
I love everything about him.
he's wonderful,
I just want to know how he kept all that hair while being bald on top.
right? Like he's really got a good skullet going on.
He has such hair.
It's very solid.
Oh my god. The show just has a lot going on.
Do you have any favorite like lines, like one-liners or anything that they said? Because that's like one of the standout things for me about the show is just like the amount of just
For me,
good, solid one-line things
oh,
that they have.
I do have more standout moments. I almost forgot my standout moment of the show.
Oh,
My
the
favorite
standout
moment. But I mean, if every pork chop were perfect, we wouldn't have hot
Yes.
dogs.
That's my favorite quote from the entire show.
I think it's mine too, because it's also a depiction of the show.
Yeah,
Like if everything were perfect, none of this would be here.
we wouldn't have any of the crystal gems.
Nope. There's that one. We say you people have too much money. We say that all the time from that weird The Nanny show that they have in their world.
Yeah.
We say that all the time, but my standout moment, are you ready?
Yes.
Hands down, if I could only watch one moment of the show forever, There's one moment that I would watch.
What is it?
It's my favorite moment of the show. Peridot is calling Yellow Diamond, and you're like, fuck, she's about to like spill everything. And when she turns on her and becomes a crystal gem, greatest moment in the entire show.
A really good moment.
Dude, when that moment gives me chills every time
Really?
I watch it. Dude, you call this Diamond, which has been this elusive figure the entire show. We've
Yeah.
never even fucking seen one. And we finally see one for the first time. You're like, fuck, they are monstrous and they're menacing and they're so evil.
Right.
And she fucking puts her in her place. Old pterodactyl?
My God.
Dude, when she's like, oh, how is the Earth? She's like, oh, it's still here. And she's like, no, I want the cluster to grow. I want that planet to die. And I was just like, damn, this lady's like really evil, right?
Terrible. Yeah.
And then she jumps on her. She's all like, you're wasting my time being on the phone now. Here's what I want you to do. It's a simple fucking order for you simple-minded things below me. Let the world die. I'll take over from there. And then she goes, no. And starts going back on. And she's like, what do you know about the Earth? Apparently more than you. You Claude. I fucking, that like, face that Yellow Diamond gets.
Yeah.
I lived for that face. And then they all come up and they're all like, you did it. She's like, I can't believe I did that. And she cries for the whole world to hear forever.
Yeah, Peridot is an interesting
best.
character. Like, I did not like her for the first many episodes that she was in, but
No, because she was evil. But then
yeah.
she was so good. Like, by
Yeah.
the end, she's so good.
By the end, I do love her.
Yeah, right there. When Peridot calls you a clown. Like, really, she was the first one to have, like, the biggest fuck you to a diamond in the entire show.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
It's my favorite moment of the whole show.
Of the whole show?
Of the whole show.
My God.
It was so big. That was one of the like biggest moments I think the show had.
Yeah.
From like wondering what's going on, and then this other villain we meet winds up joining them last minute and just screwing over the other villains, and it's like this is perfect. I love this. It's like my favorite thing.
There's one really good line that I have not mentioned. It's where Pearl is fixing something or other and somebody tells her to rest and she goes, I don't get tired, I get results. It's just like that is Pearl for me.
I love Pearl. Ooh, what'd you think when she like met that other girl?
Oh
and
my
like
God.
had like the jacket with like the shoulders and stuff, and she's like meeting her.
So good. Like,
and then like she never comes back though, and that's kind of one of my problems with the show too.
I think Pearl just needed that moment, you know. Sometimes you just got to go out and like get a number to prove that you can.
Actually, in the show we were talking about where they keep going into the layers of Pearl.
Yes.
When they first go in, she's like, "Oh, the thing you're looking for should be right here in phone.
Everything is alphabetized.
That phone number is still sitting in her like catalog and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So
funny.
Meant something to her.
Yeah.
I can't wait for you to see the movie because there's
excited about it.
There's just more Pearl stuff.
Good.
Like, there's so much Pearl shit that my favorite stuff about the movie is all the Pearl stuff.
Okay.
Like
good.
there's just Pearl things in there that I live for.
I do
fucking live
Pearl.
for them. So don't look up nothing about this movie.
I won't.
Because it's too good.
All I know is that there's like a big lady that looks like the teenage robot lady. She's got like the pigtails.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, I guess final thoughts. Give me your rating 1 to 10. What is the show?
Do
you want mine?
Let me aerate the flavors. That's a 10.
Top notes? That's a 10.
That's a 10.
This is a perfect show.
I don't think that like there are minor flaws with it, of course, as
Oh
there's
well,
going to
yeah.
be in anything, but I don't think that anybody could watch this show and not get something out of it.
Oh yeah. I mean, Good Place. That's a 10.
That's a
But
10.
season 3, definite drag fest. Not a good part of the show. But the show is still a 10.
Yeah.
Nothing is just hands down all good, no bad.
Yeah.
But
Like the payoff
yeah.
way outweighs the
Oh yeah.
anything else.
This is like as soon as we watched The Good Place and it was so good, the only show that I could ever think of that would ever match it was this one.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no other show that I could present Kelsey that will be as good as The Good Place besides this.
I think this has matched
I
it for me.
I want you to watch Full Metal, and Full Metal is a great show. I love that show, but it's still like a 9 for me.
Okay.
Like it's not Steven. It's not
Yeah.
Steven.
I think the show is just universally acceptable by
It
anybody.
is. It's it is one of those once in a lifetime shows.
Yeah.
And I think it only was I think the door was opened by shows like Adventure Time because I love Adventure Time. And Adventure Time's not as good as this show. But Adventure
Right.
Time does things that this show I think could only do cuz they opened some doors first.
Yes.
Adventure Time opened a lot of doors and I love that show very much. I hold that show dear to my heart too.
Definitely.
But Steven just reaches into your soul and is like, get that filthy shit out of there and heal yourself.
Yeah.
Let's fucking get people fixed right, you know?
Yeah.
This
Basically.
show wants you to feel good.
Yes. Tell me how you feel.
So that's why I don't. We're going to watch the movie.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave Steven Universe Future on the table as optional for you
Okay.
because it does not end happy.
Uh
It takes the happiness from the show and makes it real and you go, yeah, but it's still life. Steven
okay.
Universe Future is the epilogue to the movie and this show. So it concludes it a little bit more,
Okay.
but it deals with a lot heavier stuff
Okay.
and they don't always end happy.
Yeah. Well,
So
all right.
if you just want to see more, like Taylor sometimes wishes she'd never watched it. She's like,
Yikes.
I'm good where this was.
Okay.
I personally love the end of Steven Universe Future. I think it honestly, if that show didn't come back with him further in the like his timeline, I would be let down. Because I think the show opens itself to like, okay, we'll revisit Steven in 10 years or so.
Yeah.
I think even if we did like like a one-off little quick special where we just kind of touch base with people,
Uh-huh.
I think that would be the best conclusion. Cuz Steven Universe Future sets up more Steven.
Okay.
Not in like a oh yeah, here's the next show that'll happen, but it's like he's not done.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's good though, right? You don't want him to just be done.
Yeah, that's the movie kind of gets into that too.
Okay. Yeah, I
But
can't wait to watch the movie. We're gonna have to
I
like
fucking love that
get a
movie.
good plan in place for Patreon and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so the
So,
plan right now is that Robert will be streaming it from his computer on
yes.
Discord. So if
Yes,
you're able
so
to hop in the Discord, we can hop in voice as well. And
now
just kind of
I have shared Discord through phone. Like I did it with Taylor one time. I like got on Discord with our phones and
yeah.
she could watch what I was doing on my phone. I was like scrolling through stuff on my phone.
Okay.
So you do not need a computer to be
Oh,
able to
great.
watch this movie. I could share it to your Discord on your phone and you could just turn your phone to the side and still watch it that way. So
Yeah.
it shouldn't be like, oh, get the right equipment to be able to watch this. I don't think that should be a problem. I think as long as you can get to Discord, you can get in our channel, you will be good to watch it.
Yeah.
So there shouldn't be a
So
problem there, which is good.
yes. So watch the news feed for information about that. We'll be posting that probably within the next couple of weeks. I don't think we're going to be
Yeah.
able to watch it in July because of just circumstances, or within June. I mean, because of
Yeah.
stuff that's happening. But
So maybe early July,
that's the
something
hope.
like that. But I mean, we'll reach out to everybody, try to get everybody's schedules a little online, see what a good time would be.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we all got together at like midnight for New Year's Eve, so if it happens to be
Good.
a late movie, we can have us a late movie.
Yeah.
You know, we can figure it out. But just a quick thing on the movie.
Hmm.
I think you will love it, but I think you're gonna have to watch it 5 more times to pick apart all the complexities inside.
Okay. Or just like read a Tumblr deep
Yeah,
dive.
or just talk to me and Taylor when it's over.
Okay.
Like, I go back and watch it all the time, and I still pick up on stuff. I'm
Wow.
like, oh wow, look at that! I didn't pick that up. It's good.
Okay.
But just a quick thing for the movie. Steven Universe was kind of being canceled.
Oh.
Like Steven Universe was like ending, and she goes, "We don't have enough episodes to end the show the way that I want.
Oh.
So can I get a movie?" And they were like, "No. Why would you get a movie? If you get a movie, that implies there's going to be more of the TV show, but your show is ending. You know, standard old corporate business stuff, right?"
Good old corporations.
So she goes, "Okay." So she, left the office, was doing stuff. They called her back and said, "Okay, you've got a movie and you need to make 20 more shows."
Ah,
So she made Steven Universe Future and the movie at the same time,
okay.
with there being no plan of a Steven Universe Future. That was not an idea. So she
Wow.
had to craft that idea while trying to conclude the movie the way that she wanted.
So the Steven Universe Future is just 20 episodes?
Yeah, it's something shorter.
Are they
It
like the
it might be
same length?
16. Yeah.
Okay. I
No, yeah.
love these shorty episodes. They're great and digestible, 11
Yeah.
minutes, perfect amount of content for me.
I think it's great. It gives you just enough time to play some, and then here's that hard hit.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Makes the
an
filler
hour of like,
episodes.
okay, let's like drag this out for 30 minutes, and then oh, here's the big reveal. You know?
Yeah. It makes the filler episodes much more tolerable. Like I can handle
Yeah,
them going to like the carnival
yeah.
for 11 minutes.
Oh yeah, that one. We actually watched that one last night too. What a weird episode.
Yeah.
Which then I picked up. I was like, who is Connie's dad? I was like,
It's
he
Mr.
sounds so
Maheshwaran.
familiar.
Wasn't
Yeah.
that Steve Purnell, right?
No.
It sounds like him.
Nope. I go. Clearly, that's Colonel Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. And I
Oh,
was wrong, and I get these two guys mixed up. It's Winston from Overwatch.
what? Oh my god.
Winston from Overwatch is shit, I just forgot his name,
He
but
looks
um
so different than what he sounds.
Crispin Freeman.
Crispin Freeman.
I think that's him. No. Hang on. Overwatch
Mr. Maheshwaran.
Monkey.
Monkey.
I know it's Winston, but I just like typing in Overwatch Monkey. Yeah, Crispin Freeman. Okay. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's who the dad was, and I get Crispin Freeman and the guy that does Colonel Mustang from Full Metal mixed up. They sound so much alike. I always
Oh,
mix them up. So I go, "That's the guy from Full Metal," and Taylor's like, "Nah, that's the monkey." I was like, "Oh, damn it!" So, now, now I got all my background stuff showing to you guys. Ooh,
uh,
we're gonna we're gonna keep it right here on a good old Lars. Perfect way to end the show. Bingo bongo. Well, Kelsey, I'm so happy you watched it, and I'm
I'm
so
also so
happy
happy.
that you loved it.
Yes.
Um, it's like I was telling Taylor. I was like, I know that I want Kelsey to watch this, but I hope she knows I would never be so adamant for her to watch something if I was not sure what it was for her.
Yeah.
I knew this show would be something for you.
Y- Yeah. And you told me for a few years, you were like, you have to watch this. It's going to affect your soul.
Yeah,
And it
I
did.
I don't try to give people things that just I like because I like weird shit, And so other people will be like, yeah, that's something you would like.
Yeah.
But this, I think you put it the best. The show's universal.
Yes.
It drives its van right into my heart.
Oh my god.
So now I'm going to go listen to every Greg Universe song that exists because I love him and his music so much.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm so happy. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I know Ferdinand's going to enjoy this review. Be sure to send us pictures of all of your rocks, all of your gems.
Show me a
You
rocks.
playing right into Big Rock's pocket.
Yep.
Um, yeah, guys, I hope you've watched it, that it meant something to you. I hope the show helped you out of any scenario or feeling that you had going on in your life. I think that's why Taylor likes it. It really just helped her sort out some stuff at the
Yeah.
time. I just I think the show kind of taught me, kind of like you said, the like um what do you call it? The like vulnerable male aspect.
Yeah.
Like I cry in the show all the time. And Stu one time was like, "You're so funny. You just say you cry like all the time." And I was like, "I
'Cause you
kind of
do.
do. Like I kind of do. Like I think it's okay."
You're an emotional man, and that's fine.
And I think a lot of that might come from this show. Like just being more open, cuz I feel like you get more genuine reactions out of people when you are also just genuine.
Yeah,
The show's a very genuine show.
it is.
So, emotions.
Emotions. We made it through
Right.
this one without crying. Way to go.
I came really close when I was discussing I was talking about one of the parts of the show and I like got real close there. I had the wells in my eyes, they just didn't go anywhere.
I watched the last like 10 or so episodes within the last day or two.
Yeah.
So I've been crying quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I got it all out before the review. So I was like, I'm not gonna cry in this one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this one's as heavy as Good Place.
Yeah, it doesn't make you contemplate death as hard, but
Yeah,
makes you
this
contemplate
show
life, which is a
contemplates
little
life.
easier.
Exactly. So, this is a happier message by the end.
Yes.
So, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I have been dying for this review to happen.
We've had it planned for months.
I've been waiting so long, but I knew, I mean, can't just ask Kelsey to bust out 5 seasons of a show overnight, even if
Yeah.
this is smaller and digestible. So I am not sure what our next review will be, but just know that somewhere in the future, I do have another show that I'll be watching for Kelsey, and I will be making that happen sometime soon. So I think that's all we got.
Yeah.
Peace and Leffen, peace and death and love and birth, peace and war on the planet Earth. I've been listening to all these songs way too much the past few
It,
days.
it's a lot of music.
I know, it's so good though. You have any other final thoughts?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to pull out. I don't think so.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go stew in my emotions for a little bit, I think.
Okay.
But we hope you guys enjoyed it. Be prepared for so many more things in the future, especially that movie one. That's gonna be a first for us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do more shit like that if it all goes well and you guys like it.
Yes.
Don't forget to let us know any other reviews that you have, if there are any other just hard-hitting shows you'd like for me and Kelsey to take a deep dive into. Go through the roller coaster of life with. And I guess just be good to each other.
Just be good.
Be happy.
Yes.